Greetings, blessings, salutations, and love. Once again, welcome back to Chats with Jack. I am Jack Talcott, here to share some time, some entertainment, some philosophy, some experiences, hopefully some faith and joy. That's really my purpose. I've dropped the link already for those who may stumble in, may wish to join, and I scheduled late today, and then I adjusted the time as well. So for those who may be strolling in now or later, thank you. Thank you for joining. Today, the topic is kind of a continuation from a stream that I got to participate in a little bit last night on We Are Awake TV. They had a great conversation going about addiction. And it was addiction and something else. I can't remember specifically, but it really got it's a topic I have passion about. Okay. I have a passion about those who suffer from addiction, harmful habits. I know that all of those things are from self-worth issues. And that bothers me because I've dealt with that a lot. I've lived with a lot of self-worth issues and a lot of emotional detachment. And it's not healthy. It really is not. It's been normalized in this corrupted world we live in. But brothers and sisters, for any who are, thank you, Sterling. Yeah, it was addiction and depression. Those things absolutely go together. Thank you. Depression, self-worth, habits, addiction, all these things go together. They're patterns of self-destruction that we are very susceptible to. Welcome, Cynthia. Good to see you, my friend. Happy Tuesday to all. What I've been learning about the world, learning about trauma, the patterns of humans between our mind and our emotions, the way our bodies like physically carry these memories of trauma in tension, in reactions, in so many ways. But brothers and sisters, there is peace. There is relief to be found. I'm not very good at explaining it in soft ways, but I know it's true. Each of us, well, damn it. See, the truth is a mystery because for every truth, there is an untruth. And just because there is an exception or just because there is an untruth does not necessarily detract from the truth of its opposite, okay? And so there's a balance that each of us has to find between strength and fragility, okay? Because when we deny our weakness, when we deny our strength, both of those things can happen. I've been guilty of it myself, okay? And each of us, we've all got to figure this out on our own, within ourselves. All of the answers, every answer any of us needs, it is going to be known and felt from within. Okay, you might hear some explanations, maybe some words or concepts from me, from someone else. You may hear information from teachers, from books, from others in this world. Those are only your answers if you accept them. Okay? So the point is, this world, the way the world is designed, the corporate world, the government world, the mainstream materialistic world of celebrity and wealth and influence and all this crap that people have become so attached to. The reason we have celebrities and billionaires and authority running the world today is because of confusion. I think humanity has lost its way. All of us have in some ways or others, but it's up to each of us to find our way home. Okay? To find our way into life and the purpose of life. Life and the purpose of life are here waiting for us to embrace, to capture, to become. Where we lose our way, um, a lot of times it happens in the best of circumstances. When we're young and innocent, we're our minds, while they're still developing, we've got these societies where many parents, moms and dads, are rushing around, running from one place to another, fixated on these schedules, on these debts, on these economic distractions. We've got all these parents doing their best, and the children are doing their best to figure it out. But sometimes the most fragile, they get forgotten, they get overlooked, they get misunderstood. And you're the fragile one I'm talking about. Me too. We all were at one point. We all were fragile. And we are fragile. Life is fragile. But at the same time, there is a power in us that can overcome. The power within us is designed to overcome, because the power within us, it is the power of the divine that brings forth and pushes beyond what is just human. And just human, man. Just human is to be divine. It really is. Hey, Herme V, this is something I learned too. I lied a lot, said I was doing my best. But then when I really had a chance to stop and think, right? When I really got to look back and reflect on my life, I could have done better. Every one of us could have done better. Maybe we did. Maybe we didn't. Maybe there was a reason we didn't have it within us to just be a little bit better, a little more effort, a little more kind, a little more patient. We all could do a little bit better. And when I realized that was really all it takes, all you have to be is a little bit better than you were yesterday, a little bit better than you were this morning. And when you become a little bit better in the present, I'm going to bring this back around, right? We lose our way. We lose our path. We become detached and desensitized to what the world has to offer. We become numb in some sense because we've allowed ourselves to feel hurt. We've allowed the fragility to become us, right? Oh, I'm broken. Oh, I'm not enough. Oh, whatever, right? That stuff is nonsense. And that is what I learned. The way to grow, brothers and sisters, the true way to grow is through intention. It's through the mind. And the best way to get clarity on intention through the mind, it sounds contradictory again, but it's kind of true. You stop thinking. You stop thinking of the thoughts that tell you you're not good enough. You stop thinking of those thoughts that come up with a reason why you cannot succeed, why you cannot change, why you cannot break your habit, why you cannot be happy, right? That's what depression is. It's a veil. It's a veil that says I can't be happy. Little Eeyore syndrome from the Winnie the Pooh thing. I lived that life for a long time, and it's not fun. It feels so much better to have a clear conscience, to have a clear mind, and the clear mind is available when we get out of the way. What I mean by that is our minds, our reactions. I've demonstrated reactions. I'm growing, I'm getting better, and I have game plans on how to continue to improve and reduce my reactions. Oh, there was a quote I caught earlier and I meant to write it down. In between the stimulus and the reaction is a pause. There's a slight moment, right? Between where something comes into our life and we react. There is a moment. I noticed these moments in fights, because I don't know, maybe it was just my experience. But it would seem to me like there is a point in the action where it slows down, you can see it. If you pay attention, you can see it. There's a moment you can change things, and you can you can come out on top. In dealing with our emotional reactions, it's the same thing. Once we notice that, all right, Jack, you're getting triggered, and you got to figure out why. Well, it's your expectations, Jack. So you've got an expectation based upon this scenario. So the expectation is not anybody else's problem, it's your own. So we've got to figure out how to deal with our own expectations, to deal with our own hopes, to deal with our own judgment and disappointment. But that's part of maturity. That's part of growing up. It's part of being a human, is learning how to be, authentic, how to be true. Because when we are authentic and true, we are kind, we are loving, we are considerate, we are generous, we are funny, we are fun. Human beings are actually a very fun species who have learned how to be depressed and afraid. we've learned how to turn fear, depression, anger into entertainment. It's profitable. There's pharmaceutical billionaires from depression. It's like, holy cows, man. Human beings, praise God. God must love us. That's the only thing I can think of. Well, that's the only thing I want to think of, really, is God's love. It's a fun thing to spend time wondering about, imagining, trying to feel the love that is beyond that of a human. Is that possible to know? I don't know. I only know my experience, but I've been trying to learn. I've been trying to learn love, and this learned helplessness, Arpol, you are absolutely right. It's what I learned. I mean, it's what the world has taught us. It's through the conditioning of obedience. The obedient don't have to think. Obedient just has to remember. And if you don't have to think, well, you're kind of helpless. Let's face it, because you're waiting to be told what to do. But brothers and sisters, we don't have to wait to be told. Matter of fact, I think it's the things we tell ourselves we have to do that really hold ourselves back. Like I told myself I had to have a job. I had to have the benefits. I had to have the security. I had to have the retirement. I had to have the 401k. I had to have the newer house. I had to have, um, I had to have, so I thought. I used to think I had to have a lot of things in life, right? Can't be happy without that stuff. Can't be happy without a relationship. Can't be happy without a nice home. Can't be happy unless you're healthy. God, I found a lot of reasons not to be healthy or not to be happy. Um, Here's the point, brothers and sisters, regarding addiction and habits. Look at the habits of your life. Look at your day-to-day activities. What do they speak of you and your opinion of your self-worth? I mean, are you doing things to increase your self-worth, or is each day just talking about things that hold us back? I'm always trying to figure out, how do I increase my own self-worth? And I'm not focused on the material aspects anymore. I used to think the way to happiness was through material, through financial security and abundance. I thought that was the only way. And then when I figured out that the slave job I'd been working wasn't necessarily the most efficient path towards financial security, well, then I started thinking, okay, what can I do from here? Well, my story drew me to pursue what I believed was an opportunity for a promotion, an opportunity to share more, right? Provide more value, have become a greater influence. And again, for those who don't know, spent a couple decades at the United States Postal Service. In 2018, I believed I could help make that entire organization a better place to work. Just by understanding the human minds, right? It would make sense. Mindfulness is the key to inner peace. As we increase inner peace, we reduce the amount of conflicts. And that was my idea. Is after 14 years as a union rep, arguing with bosses and employees, trying to figure out how to keep peace and and a safe place to work. I realized a lot of the conflicts I saw at work, they weren't relevant. A lot of the conflicts I see in the communities that I see in the news, they're not relevant. I mean, we got people fighting each other for the stupidest of reasons. It's like people literally go around in this world we're living in. Holy cows. I'm just observing myself, and I don't want to be one of those who just talks about the problems. But the reality is we do live in this world where it could be said this is Satan's world, right? Ruled by the Lord of lies. Well, the God I serve is the God of truth, the God of light, the God of love. See, the God of love is revealing, it's encouraging, it's life bringing. That's the God who serves us. The God who we have with us is for the living. We are the living. And so if we're going to live, we should be living honestly, authentically, with purpose and passion and joy and gratitude. I mean, this human experience, it really can be, it's a lifelong drama. It's a romantic comedy. Sometimes it's like a disaster flick, but it's all a show. If we don't refine our own character, if we don't choose the type of man and woman we present ourselves to be individually, if we don't choose, who's going to? And if we're going to choose the type of man, type of woman who we want to be in this world today, if we're going to choose what we want, what do we want to be? Can you want to be you? You, just the way you are. Nobody else gets to be you. Nobody else gets to live the life that you are living. Now, when we place that thought in comparison, sometimes it's really easy to think of the wealthy and those glamorous lives we see on the social media or on the news. We hear about them. It's really easy for us to feel bad about the life we're living, but that is the wrong attitude to take. Because if you can love you through everything you've been, recognizing that the love for you is the love who you really are. I mean, the only thing that prevents our love, the love from within us, the only thing that prevents it from being shared is our thoughts, our beliefs, our little excuses to say, no, I can't be nice. No, I can't be generous. No, I can't forgive. No, I can't try. Says who? Right? We're here to make our own rules. So why do we spend so much time focusing on limitations? It's what we've been taught. Where does that comment? About the learned helplessness. It really is a learned helplessness because I lost it. There it was. It's what we've been taught. We've been taught to think limited. Guys, that's what Satan wants. That's the devilish idea. The ideas of control and limitations. Um, that is not what God wants for us. Life is. It's whatever we want to see it. It is whatever you see it as. It really is. Be a ninja. Hey, blessings to all of you. Thank you. Um, what was this one? Uncle Fatty. Not responsible for the programming we receive as children. As adults, we are responsible to recognize it, understand it, and change what must be. Self acceptance comes with cognitive awareness. Amen. Amen, brother. That makes perfect sense. This is what I realized for myself. I didn't accept myself because I wasn't aware of myself. I didn't know myself. I only thought I knew myself. But what I knew was my thoughts. I knew my thoughts of me. I knew my thoughts of others. I knew my thoughts of the world. I didn't know myself. I didn't know others. I didn't know the world. And here, brothers and sisters, I want to speak accurately, so I'm censoring myself, but my goal has been to overcome my ego through submitting myself, placing me below um, my opinions, my beliefs, because so many times I'm telling you, this world has proven to me that I was wrong. And so now I don't care. I care to be accurate. Okay. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. It doesn't crush me anymore. I don't believe because I've gone through myself, my inner experience, the things I've said, the things I've chosen to believe, the things I've placed as important for me as a man. I've looked at all those things pretty closely. And if I'm wrong, what does it change? It doesn't change the facts, it doesn't change my situation. Doesn't change, well, it might change what I need to do or what I feel is a priority to do, but what I've come to realize is the only thing that matters, sincerely, I can't stress this enough, to find our way back home, home to discover who we are, we must bring our mind and heart together in the present, in the moment, in the now. And it's always the now. We live in the now. We must be now. We must be present. We must be aware. Must be's. Damn it. We get to be. If you want to know yourself better, if you want to come to a place where your addictions, your habits, your self-worth are no longer limits for you, if you want to get to that point, bring yourself into the present. Humbly, with courage, with strength, with the willful determination to truly know what is true, to break free of the past limits, the past patterns that have resulted in depression, in limiting beliefs, in even a question about your self-worth. If you've got a question about your self-worth, then do something about your worth. When we judge ourselves, it is, there's a reason. It's up for each of us to figure it out. Are these reasons we're judging ourselves, are they legitimate or have they been taught? Because the world, it wants us divided, it wants us confused, and it wants us in unrest. I love this comment, Justin Harris. I enjoy not knowing. Maybe you enjoy not knowing Jack. That could be true too. But if you just generally enjoy not knowing, that's actually a strength. I used to drive myself nuts with this belief I had to know. I had to figure it out. I had to come up with an answer. I needed closure. And that's a normal human trait, I think, within our minds, is the egoic drive for closure. It wants the answers to the puzzle. And the spirit within us, it'll guide the ego. It'll play all sorts of games with us. Our spirit will guide us to the answers that our soul wants us to see, wants us to know. And our mind, we get the free will of choice. We get to decide whether we want to accept what we're seeing, whether we want to believe what we're seeing, whether we want to be angry at what we're seeing. We get to choose it all. And hey, CT, brother, big fan of yours, the way you operate your streams. Thank you. Thanks for popping through, man. And all you guys, all you've been dropping in, thank you to all of you. And for any who do want to click the link, feel free. I'm just kind of chilling out today, I think. I think that's kind of where I'm at. I didn't do a lot of preparation for today. I did spend a lot of time, not a lot of time. I spent time reflecting on my past experience and trying to find what is relevant, what might be helpful to discuss regarding addictions, habits, self-worth. Man, I've had so many bad habits, so many stupid habits, so many stupid addictions in my life. I think my newer addiction is, actually, I got a bunch of them right now. Massage is probably my greatest addiction these days. It's like every free chance I get, I'm massaging my legs, my back, My hands have gotten strong as hell from all the manipulation and the hours and hours of of digging. But brothers and sisters, in our day, here, hopefully this will be helpful. Just these reminders. In our day, each day, we get same number of hours, same number of seconds, roughly each day as everyone else. So our life is not for everyone else. Our life is for ourselves. So in each day, what are we going to do? If we want to live, if we want to grow, what is it we're going to do? Every one of us has this option. We're all on our own unique paths, okay? And let's not minimize that concept, because I don't know, I don't claim to know exactly how everything works in this reality, how we all come to be on the path that we are, but there is something truth to the old teachings about our path of life, whether it's destined or unique, or it is perfectly revealed for each of us. Each second, each moment of time in our experience. The time that matters is now. And what matters right now for your experience, for my experience, what matters in this experience of now, it's how we feel. Your feelings do matter to you, because your feelings, the feelings you feel in the moments of now throughout the day, whatever you're doing, how you're feeling is going to, it will focus your mind. Your mind, it's like, I like the analogy that our minds are like receivers. We are receiving thoughts and information from the external world and from our higher consciousness. Our minds tune in to the thought forms based on how we feel. So, for example, when we're feeling angry, guess what we're going to see? Lots of stuff to make us angry. It's just going to keep going and compound. There's parts in our brains, as science has discovered or identified, the RAS, reticulating activation system, or something. There's something in our mind that works with our thoughts and our desires. When we create an intention and a meaning to something, our mind's eye starts watching for that. It's a perfectly designed system that we are incorporating. Our bodies are sensory tools for the purposes of experience. And so the purpose of experience, it would seem, logically, experience brings wisdom. That's why we're here. We're here to gather wisdom. And the best way to gather wisdom, the best way for humans to learn, for us as people to learn, it's when we feel safe. When we feel safe, we can have fun. And when we have fun, dude, learning is easy. It's fun to learn, as a matter of fact. I love learning. Used to hate it. Schools taught me learning was a chore. That it was hard. You had to study, and it was a lot of work. Humans overcomplicate everything, man. Everything. So the best way for us to the best way for us to learn, to grow, is to really cognize intentionally, purposefully, bring your mind into you, into your state of being, okay? And keep your mind within you and your state of being. It's a balance. It's a balance, because you got to pay attention to see what's the trigger and what's what's bringing these energies and these feelings within, these ideas. We've got to pay attention within and around. But we're here to have fun in these bodies. I mean, picture these bodies as kind of it's a suit for experience. I've said this on other streams. If the stories are true, our souls are eternal. We are immortal beings, eternal beings, having an experience of mortality, an experience of life. In this illusion, it is an illusion, this world we are living in, it is an illusion that it creates the deception that there is a separation from you and me, and that there's a separation from us and God. Because there is no separation. There is no, well, there is clearly an individuation, but there is no separation. I hope this kind of makes sense. I know I can get intellectual with some of this stuff, but for me, that's how I understand. That's how I learn, is through intellectualizing, hearing the concepts and the descriptions. And then for me, it makes it easier to understand. So I know everyone doesn't learn that way, but hopefully people are hopefully people are picking up some of this stuff. I do appreciate it. Everything you've ever seen on your entire life is in the past. There is no present. Yeah, I know. I don't want to get too deep into that, but I've noticed that too. Really, our entire life is actually remembering. Because by the time by the time we've cognized and internalized the information, it's in the past. We're constantly reflecting and constantly considering. Welcome, Joe. How you doing?
Oh, well, it's good, man.
I'm glad you joined. Chill afternoon, chill brother.
Good.
Um,
I heard you talking about, girl, the I don't know. You were saying something about like the soul and how it moves on and shit. I forgot exactly what you were saying, but and when I clicked in to come over here, you were on that. You probably moved on. That was the last thing I heard.
what I was saying with that is, if it's true that we are eternal souls, then this life
That's it.
experience,
Yeah.
it's just a temporary trip through mortality. You know, we take a lot of things seriously in
Too
this life.
serious, right? Yeah.
Amen.
Oh, if that is the case, maybe we take it too serious. Maybe some of the things that we think are so bad that we see others do and we do ourselves, maybe they're not so bad. Maybe they are kind of, some of them are learning lessons and shit. Maybe we over dramatize some of the shit down here. Like I don't know what wrong it is, but I know humans, whatever it is, we jump out and judge. Oh, it's horrible. Oh my God. And it can't be what we think it is. It cannot be, man. We too sensitive. So I know that some of this shit cannot be as horrible as we make it out to be.
Hey, yes, and what you're saying there, that kind of ties to what I was trying to explain earlier about the way to heal ourselves, is we've actually, to do the inner work, we've got to really go within ourselves and do kind of an inventory, a
Agreed.
real intentional inventory about what is important.
You'd have to be honest with yourself, right? Or,
Amen.
or else you're not really a sharp weapon, a sharp instrument. You're out there fumbling around. If you weren't honest with yourself during that sharpening process, yeah, I go for that.
Amen. Um, hey, you said you're here and Nude Guru are down here.
Yeah,
So
that's my man. Yeah.
I thought I looked for him. I thought you said he was doing something last night. I couldn't find you
What's
guys.
that last? Was that last night? Whenever it was, I left here. I went straight over there. Rights for vets. I was hung over there for hours, bro. Oh, he got 2 channels. He writes, he got a backup channel. Guru, are both the channels named Rights for Vets? That'd be dumb to do, but are both channel names Rights for Vets, Guru? What channel were we on? I might have gave you the wrong channel.
I looked for Nude Guru. I didn't look for
No,
right.
we were in the rights room. We was in the right room.
You said that, and I didn't
Now
recognize
you're
that was the name. Rights for Vets. I thought that might have been the topic or something, but okay.
No.
I'm gonna check that out. Thank you. It sounds like something I would have loved, or I would
You
love.
but I'm telling you, it's just like it was. I don't know if you know Dennison. He's a very pessimistic, in my opinion, dim, dismal, cup half empty, brilliant person. And you need that in the room, right? Every time you get optimistic, he sweeps your legs out from under you intelligently, keeps you on your toes. So especially just be me, him, Guru, and Rights. You know, the guy who room with us, ex-veteran. He's a cool cat, a really funny cat, and he has fun. He never stresses and shit like that. None of us never stress. Me and Dennison like heated arguments. Like I like with there's no danger. We can, really get heated. And in there it's cool because we know each other. And Guru them ain't thinking they finna come to blows. They thinking that's what those idiots do. We were on the main channel. All right. Yeah, Rights for Vets.
I'm gonna check that out later. Thank you.
You dig it. We do a lot of that philosophical shit that we do over here. In fact, I've carried the conversation from over there. Be like, I was at Jack's and we might have been talking about this thing because we talk about similar shit over there as well. A lot of government shit like Paul might be talking about. Guru is well versed in all of that shit. Rights versus freedoms versus what do we fucking call them? Codes and ordinances and shit like that. He's really good on what's public versus private. He's just good on. He's good. He really need to be talking to cats like Wizard and Paul. He's way above my head with that shit.
There's a lot of good resources. Excuse me, a lot of resources that are growing out here on these medias.
Yeah.
The question is, go ahead.
I was gonna say you played a role in that. I think of a lot of my resources, the people that I like, Jesse and Flo, and a lot of the cats out of Shane Wise. The same way I met you through Paul, and you're an asset. I met those guys through you, so I wouldn't want you to. There are a lot of resources. Jack's room is one of those resources. I can prove it because now I know these people, and they're all resources. And fucking Simple Jack and Nachi. I wouldn't even know these cats, right?
I know. Thank you. There's some cool folks out here. Yes. But I keep coming back to, what are we going to do with this? How are we going to make the most of this? I mean, what is the best path to get the most out of what is available here?
I used to do magazines, man. I used to rap too, and I had some success at both of those shits. And I remember writing in a magazine about how we've been voiceless. You should have never let me get a fucking magazine. The same thing here, right? You make your fucking message powerful. No watered down, no muted colors. You make your shit. So what's up, Dominic? You make your shit so powerful. You say the shit from the heart and those type of things that need to be said. You don't waste a fucking moment with some fucking mediocre, medium, lukewarm nonsense, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's the ideal world, Joe.
This world, man, kick in. Just set it on fire, right? Fuck that. What everybody know and what everybody agree with. Set it on fire. Say the hard truth. Fuck that. I mean, you don't want to waste some fucking time down here and you leave here. I wish I'd have said this. I wish I'd have said that. Nothing hurtful, nothing hateful. Right? But a lot of people like to avoid the hard truth. I can give you a couple of examples. Say slavery. Boom. Motherfuckers' doors closed. Say God. Boom. Should say Allah. Boom. Say trans. Boom. Doors shut. You got to talk about these things. What's good, Don? You're muted if you're talking.
Hey, Joe. Hey, Jack.
How you doing, brother? Have you do you guys have stories, anything you're willing to share regarding past addiction, past habits, past issues with self-worth you were able to overcome?
Yes, my latest was I've hustled all my life, literally since I was a teenager. I've sold drugs. I've done other things in the meantime, but I've never stopped hustling. And I just stopped before I started cop watching. So that's what I'm good at, making my own bread, doing my own thing. And when I stopped getting high and doing drugs, selling drugs and shit, my biggest fucking stressor was how the fuck do niggas survive out here? Fucking money seems to be very fucking difficult to come by, man. That was my biggest stressor. I have these fucking grazes probably from that shit, bro. You know how I overcame that shit. I fucking it's a beautiful story too. It ain't what you asked for, but that's that cop watching shit. That's that God shit. What you say? Go ahead.
Please, sure.
I got house arrest.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, I got house
Good.
arrest. And when I was on house arrest, I saw some of these cop watch videos. This is the very short version. But I went out there and started doing it. I hadn't watched it long enough. My second video I ever made like blew up. It was really big. So I didn't get a chance to watch it and know nothing about monetizing or subs and all these things that people go into when they say, I'm going to start a channel. No, I was just a viewer. And suddenly, so I did that shit for, I don't know, a year and a half, 2 years or something without even get monetized and shit. Without doing whatever the final steps were to get monetized. So I was out there fucking working, doing what I fucking loved. And you know what happened? My girlfriend at the time, she was like, you get, I don't know, how 23,000 subs or something like that. She was like, you fucking around, give me your passcode to your channel. And and she did whatever. I still don't know what the fuck she did to the proper steps or whatever she did. But yes, then I started getting bread for this shit. And I've been traveling for about 3 years straight. I've been traveling across the country, man. Never more. I ain't been in Chicago before the last holidays more than like 2 weeks, usually like 3 days. And I'm back on the road somewhere. I've been doing that for like 3 years.
Dude, that's what I want to do. I want to be traveling and on the road, moving around, but it hasn't been my time will come again. My time will come again.
All right, you know I'm gonna beat that. There's only the now shit, right?
I know.
We gotta do it now. Listen, Jack, I'm gonna try to talk you into it right now. I have friends who travel. They convert buses and vans and UPS vans and shit like that into long distance trip shit. One of my buddies has he has a diesel tank under there, and he has an oil tank where he can burn oil, used oil. Meaning we fill up that tank, and you don't have to pay for that shit because it's just oil that everybody trying to throw away. It's a real thing. And we do a lot of this shit. And so if you're sincere about traveling, I put you in touch with the right people. I'd be among them. You know what I'm saying? You'd meet my friends, you'd hang out with my people, all freedom loving, fighter and fucks, all enlightened, non-violent fucks, right? All positive, trying to make the world better as people.
I love that idea.
Okay.
I'm trying to figure out where's my path. How do I get that going? I mean, and where am I going to go, and what is the purpose behind the going?
I think, in my opinion, you might fumble up on it the way I stumbled up on mine. I didn't have a plan on none of that shit, right? I can't say.
Hey, Joe.
Yeah.
I know this can be taken out of context, but what you just said is actually where I'm kind of at right now.
That's a good thing. That's what I was going to. Yes. I think that use that to your advantage. Yeah, I was thinking the same shit.
It's here, and let me explain this a little bit, because it's real easy for us to get caught up on these goals, on these paths, on these purpose that we've imagined for ourselves.
And you'll never set out, because I see myself computer scientist, and the first thing I need is a $1,200 IBM computer. And you never leave the fucking front door if you do that.
Hey, well, that's one of the downsides is, yes, our mind will then work to create all these obstacles and plans and reasons of how it's going to roll out. But all of that mind energy, while it is a benefit, it is good to have that clarity. It can also create a lot of angst within us, anxiousness. And
give me more. Tell me more. Cause go ahead.
Well,
yeah,
I've been learning to keep my goals, keep my intentions for the future, but what you just said,
yes,
find peace. And my plan is right now. That was what I told myself earlier today, Jack. The conversation I've had with myself, observing things, my future goals and all of the confusion and stuff, it has been a distraction.
I see what you meant now. It can be a burden or cause anxiety. I see what you're
going. Yeah. It's best just to focus on right now and do the next right thing right now, and then the next right thing and the next right thing.
Right.
And then eventually we'll get there.
I ought to think all my life, none of it was really planned. I think about all the people I met and all the opportunities that came my way. I may have done the small things, like put myself in that place, but it was always through a meeting, some coincidental shit that I didn't know, didn't plan. I thought it was going to be a boring meeting. And this is the guy who I started the publishing company with, was met at that boring fucking meeting. It's not like I planned that. It was a dumbass meeting about, fees or something. And, and it turned into the, and that's how it always fucking happens, man. Somebody say it's the 80-20 rule. Eight of the or whatever things you try will be shit, and you just play the odds. 2 out of them turn into something. He says that's all I boil it down to. Is playing the odds. 8 out of 10 of any things you try is gonna be shit. So put the work in, put the numbers in, blah blah blah.
If you're gonna fail fast, fail often. Get up, keep learning, move forward. Amen.
Right. You must learn. I saw this guy talking about learn to fail. Be good at it. Like kind of like you just said. He was like, "Cause no champion on the first day won a Heisman Trophy or some type of thing like that. It took a long time, a lot of failures, a lot of learning to overcome. So when you see yourself failing often, you're on the right road. Fail hard, yeah.
Just can't let it. Well, yes and no. Because at some point, we've got to wisen up and say, all right, maybe this is not the path for me. Or maybe it's not the time for this path for me.
Is that a thing? Fuck that. Is that a thing? Fuck. I never even considered that.
I've been playing with this idea because, just logically, a leader knows when to fight, knows when to retreat, knows when to dig in and stand ground,
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes in order to progress in the battle, we do need to surrender for the day.
I would agree. Yeah. Yes.
And I have been. I've gone off in one direction. Yes, it seems right. It's not working out. All right, I'm going to try this way. Here's how I ended up on YouTube, man, is trial and error. So
right.
I'm going to find something to work eventually. But
I think what would be your goal then? Is it a financial goal that we're looking for? What would be your goal before I could give you advice on it? Because if your goal is to make bread, I steer you the fuck away from YouTube. Totally. The odds of making money the odds of making money on YouTube are stupid slim.
Okay.
Yeah. And it's no, you better off rolling the dice or something than trying to make money on YouTube. If you were trying to save souls or something like that, yes. If you're gonna make bread on YouTube, I tell you, there's 2 routes. It's the most successful route is to watch what other people do. That's how every successful YouTuber who makes a video about it was the same thing. I studied it. What is successful people do? They pay attention to the sounds. They put sound in there. They put music in there. They focus on what's brand new, or they'll focus on something that was retro. They'll break it down. What makes the video successful? That's one way. Yeah.
Hey, you're right. You are right about that. I had in my idea that some things might be easier than this, but
Yeah.
this is one of the realizations I had too, is that it's time for me to start reassessing and just focusing on the now, because
Still, with the same goal in mind, I want to advise you. But if you're talking about bread, I'm going to just assume we're talking about bread, because I'm getting confused. If we're talking about saving souls and shit, I'm going to give you totally different advice. But I think we're talking about something different now.
the money, the income is actually pretty low. My focus, I feel I have a better chance of economic return through justice rather than
Justice?
rather than trying to become a celebrity.
Interesting. I hear what you're saying.
Um,
Yeah.
but
No, fuck that justice. I'm saying, I mean, if you're going to put your eggs in one basket, I wouldn't be putting it in. It's kind of putting it in their hands. If I'm going for
oh
justice,
no,
I gotta, fuck that.
hey Joe, there's a
Yeah.
number of I'm not too worried about the finances, because here's what you asked, and I want to come down to some of these comments and from the chat too eventually, but um, what you were asking, what I've been learning,
Uh,
the laws of energy, the laws of give and take,
mm,
as you mentioned the goal of, am I trying to save lives?
uh,
Yeah, I kind of want to help people, and I
uh,
believe that if I find a way to for others to receive value,
uh,
whether it's on here or elsewhere,
yeah.
the world will reward. That's how it works.
I would assume that on that path, you're well on the way. In fact, you short sell yourself every fucking day. Is pathetic to fucking have to watch every day. A motherfucker, you're well on your way to that shit. Yeah. If that was that part of it, you're gonna stumble into it at this rate, right? If you was the dumbest fuck in the world, you still on your path are gonna stumble into nothing but a bunch of saved souls, that type of shit.
That's the goal. It really is. Hey, let me get to Uncle Fatty here. He's been dropping some good stuff. MAGA has like an addiction. 1,000 hits of dopamine triggered by anger and fear of the other. And it's absolutely true, man.
That's dope.
Like a kleptomaniac that steals 1,000 Tootsie Rolls from the Fox candy store
Who
every
said
day.
that? Uncle Fatty, very good.
I'm new to Uncle Fatty, but I'm becoming a fan pretty quick, man.
I've been trying to figure that out. It's like they think different, like in the face of reality, like flat earthers type shit. There's something unique there in Trumpers. I think you hit it on the head. It's the dopamine. We're a group like the flat earthers. Earthers, fuck anything else. They got that vibe, yo.
It really is. What there's similarities between some of the conservative parties, some of the flat Earth parties, some of the different conspiracy.
I
I
agree.
shouldn't call them parties. They're different groups,
Yeah,
alignment.
whatever. It just identifies with me. I'm not crazy. I'm not gonna pick on your words. You know.
People trauma bond and they unite under fear. And this is a different topic. Self-control comes from cognitive awareness. Amen. Knowing our triggers and controlling our exposure to them, and learning how to recognize how we feel when triggered and how to deal with them.
He said how to act
And
versus react.
amen.
Yeah.
And that's something I'm trying to reinstill in myself even more. Even though I have been practicing this, I'm still working more to pay attention inside and to focus more on the pause. Less
I understand.
less focus, I think, on the energy and more focus on the pause. I think that's where my mind is
I
trying
don't
to.
know about the first part. Let's focus on the energy. The pause is great. There's no fucking hurry. And plus, when we pause, we kill that reactive shit. Excuse me. Yeah.
Amen. Anxiety, fear of the uncontrollable future. Stress is fear during the uncontrolled present. Yeah. Yes. Depression is fear of repeating the uncontrolled past. Yes. Yet control is an illusion. Amen. Anxiety and control, they're both illusions. They don't exist, yet they are very real to the experience, aren't they? I'm enjoying this. Thank you. Yep. Focus on the now. I'm going to focus on the now. You're right, Tommy. I'm trying to practice what I preach, honestly. Living in the here and now in this ADD society, in this bipolar relationship of consumerism and spiritualism, it is the hardest thing to do. Live in the now, hour, day, week. Keep it close.
Yeah, you have to catch me up. My buddy just brought me, I think it's a tuna fish sandwich, I think is what it is.
Not your way.
I said my buddy. You told me.
That is great.
Oh, not your wife.
Just in case.
That's funny. Right? That's funny.
That's some spices.
What would you say causes one to be triggered? I think it's I think it goes with this other comment here.
Okay.
Whoops, not that one. The trigger may come from probably most that fear of repeating an uncontrolled past. That might be my guess.
Damn, that was deep. Is that what he said?
Well, he identified it as depression. Depression is a fear of repeating the uncontrolled past, and I would offer that maybe that's a sign of a trigger as well.
They've defined depression as defeating. Say it again, because I wanted to stay.
Depression is the fear of repeating the uncontrolled past.
Wow, that's what depression. That shit too complex. I just smoked. I'm not even gonna try to figure that one out.
Hey, there you go. Recognize the limitations. It'll come in. It'll sink through. You know.
Yes, fuck. But we didn't even get to the. Okay, go ahead. You continue. But
oh no,
fuck depression. But depression is anxiety from fear of reliving an uncontrolled past. And that takes you into anxiety, takes you into depression. I probably didn't even know that.
Well, if you're imagining that you're going to repeat the painful past,
that would bring anxiety.
That's
yes,
going to bring depression and anxiety.
Oh, that's logical as fuck. I'm done. Yes. Yeah. Oh my God, I'm an idiot. That's so logical.
No, it's just this is actually what I like, because that's the amazing part of these words. Sometimes it can be complicated. Sometimes we can communicate it real simply, but
you know, the best part about that is I'll be able to help someone with that advice. It's the best part of that, man. I'll be able to put that shit in, and I'll be more patient, right? With motherfuckers going through that shit. If I even think that's what they're going through near, I'll know how to help them better. I'll know how to craft my words better. What a Walmart door greeter. I wasn't born a Walmart door greeter. I had to work at it.
Hey, this I didn't catch this, Uncle Fatty. He says he's the guy on Flow States the night Mr. Pie was on Mushies.
Oh,
I don't know about this former Nazi recruit at the Hayden Lake compound. I am familiar with the Hayden Lake compound in the 90s. That's Still live in Coeur d'Alene's and does. You know what, Uncle Fatty? I hope you should hit the link here, or maybe we'll cross.
Yeah, if it's at all possible, if you do panels, I would love that you fucking come up here right now.
Absolutely. Bringing some great stuff, Uncle Fatty. If you're available, please pop up. Because this is the funny thing about what he's saying. I grew up north of here, and I mean, probably like 90, so 120, 150 miles away from what he's talking about, this Nazi
Yeah, let me
compound.
read it. I should at least read the shit. I didn't read it.
Um,
All right, I'm the guy on Flow States. Cast tonight, Mr. Pie was on the mushies. I don't know those cats. That was a former Nazi recruit he was a Nazi recruit. Is he saying he was? That's heavy.
I don't know.
In the 90s, still live in CD8, not sure what that is, and have done 17 gay weddings in maybe Idaho. I don't know. A lot I don't even understand. I ain't gonna bullshit.
Good for you, man.
Yeah, good for you on the gay weddings. Yeah.
Well,
I think gay weddings are great, but if you can remove someone's anxiety every time you do that type of shit and make someone's life better, that's what I'm all about. No, I think the gay shit is dumb, though. I ain't gonna bullshit you, man. But I don't know. I don't like fat women either. What can I tell you?
Well, that neo-Nazi compound he's talking about, I don't know if it's still there. I don't think it is, but I remember hearing about it when I was in high school.
Oh, you heard about it? Fucking, where was it? Recent? In the 90s?
In the 90s.
Here in America?
Yeah, over in northern Idaho, not far from me. Wow. And that's what I mean. Yeah. When I heard the rhetoric of the oppressed white man, you know, this skinhead rhetoric, I actually bought into some of that crap when I was young.
What about right now? Because the new thing, not that bullshit. Not that. The new thing though, this anti-immigrant fervor is mostly because this Make America Great Again. It's mostly because, hey, this is a white country, and these people keep coming in. The whites will no longer be the majority of the population. A lot of that, it's difficult for motherfuckers to say, but that's what's going on here. People have the ideology that people are different and they're bad, and the white man is an endangered species. They killing black motherfuckers for this shit and different races for this shit. Shooting up stores and shit, man, because they feel like we're invading the country, their country.
It's this delusions. Actually, dementia. Someone dropped that word in the comments or the chat, but yeah, the conditioning of this world from the society, all the hate that's been driven out and promoted through the news, through the schools, media.
Let me ask you, Jack. You're the right cat to ask. Must it be intentional, or could it have evolved, left alone? Could this much chaos be happening? Or must this be part of a plan? Which is it?
I think it's been perfectly allowed. Okay.
It's been allowed. That's at least right. That speaks volumes right there. If you allowed it, right, and you have the job even to stop it, even allowing it, it's not a good thing. Whether it's a plan or not. Go ahead.
Well, I think everything.
That's the perfect nigga to ask. Did you hear that question, Tommy?
There you go.
You've been brainwashed by the leftist MSM.
Do you have anything?
The only thing killing black people is abortion clinics and other black people.
Okay, well, I admitted I had been deceived and filled with lies, or I didn't, you know, I'd heard
generationally. It's hard to see through it. I agree.
What's that?
I see through it. I agree. It's hard to see through it because, like I've said before on my loop, we are in a generational psyop. And look at Joe. He's lived his street life and he still blames white people.
Oh, stop. You're bored. If you really want to rap about something, I'm always down, but you got to come up here and attempt.
No, you're not. You like to rap after I'm backstage.
Okay, so we would want to talk. Tell me about me again. Tell me.
And you like to troll me, don't you?
You didn't want to talk. You did, you.
I always do.
All right. Well, what do you want to rap about?
But
Say
you
it.
just want to hear what you want to hear.
I'll listen this time. Whatever you got to say. I'm throwing you out a lot.
Well,
I'm not gonna bullshit
like I just said, man, you are still given that MSM rhetoric. Like I have never voted a day in my life, but this MAGA Make America Great, that's not about keeping it white. It's about keeping the American ideals, trying to clutch onto this sovereign idea we're losing.
It's been twisted and manipulated, and it's been
As
distorted.
part of the psyop too.
Right.
Like the controlled opposition is so layered that even the MAGA people are leaning into Trump will have a solution of more tyranny, like the cashless system.
You don't think Trump will?
No, I think Trump will be used to get freedom people to lean into whatever the reaction solution will be.
Why would we let
reinstates more tyranny?
Why don't we stop it? Why don't we change this? Why don't we do something?
You can't. It's prophesied.
Who says?
The alleged God that I don't agree we worship.
Well, your interpretations claim things. I mean, we've read and learned from the same similar sources.
I disagree that we've learned from the same sources.
Okay, maybe
but you can have different interpretations reading,
and that's why we need the body of Christ to zero in that interpret. It's like Gary Oldman. It's like Gary Oldman from Book of Eli. Even the dark side can take that book and use it as a weapon.
Right. So let's come into this present right now, where God is with us right now.
Tommy, let him
use
go,
us
Tommy, let him go a little bit too. Man.
Please, thank you. And I don't mean any. This is the spirit of
Christ. You do mean. Put me in the back and say you need a rest. Say you need a Tommy timeout.
Well, Tommy, you don't have to cause that.
Say truth. I don't have to give you the truth that wears you down.
You don't have to.
Just like Dominic. I think Dominic's a nice guy. I'll go globe on that dude all day and not hate him.
Can we come back to let's discuss?
I'm trying to get us there. I'm trying to get us to that level to start progressing.
Well, let's
can we do it together though, Tommy? Can we all talk, or are you just gonna let him get one sentence and then start talking?
Can we all talk?
Can we all?
You're gonna wait for him to backstage me and say I don't like to talk about Tommy when he can't respond, but I'm gonna do that. And I'm not letting up till you acknowledge that and stop doing it. This is
why I just tone you out, because you talk so much nonsense.
Yeah, you tone me out because you just want to hear Joe's right, white people race.
Nonsense, bait nonsense, because you've tried the same shit so many times. You act like, I don't know. It's weird to me.
You don't know. Like, that's the first thing I agree with. You don't know.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I'm fine, Jack. I'm fine. I'm used to it.
Hey, Joe.
I don't apologize. I'm doing what I'm here to do.
If you're not going to cooperate, you can leave.
I hope you come out to LARP Church, everyone. This Sunday, every Sunday that I can manage it, we're going to do LARP Church.
Yep. Someone can drop Tommy's channel. And
no need. They all know who I am. There's not a person in that chat that doesn't know who I am.
Fair enough. All right. Thank you, Tommy. Since you don't
want to be careful promoting me. I wouldn't want Paul and.
Go ahead, Tommy. Since you don't want to cooperate with what I'm doing, we allowed you to promote your channel. You offered your opposition and your disagreement, but praise be. Praise be, man.
The person is living in the past. Oh,
yeah.
Is that true? You've heard that before?
I can.
You see the logic?
See that?
Yeah.
But that kind of goes with some of the other comments from previously. Is that everything we know so far is the past? Really?
Of course.
So, I don't know. Societal norm of God is a horrible way of looking at things. I agree. What about the folks that the Americans that don't believe in your God? 18,000 gods in time of man, 4,000 worship today. I'm not certain I follow that comment. I agree with the beginning, the societal norm of God.
Yeah.
The societal norm. Mm-hmm. Society is diseased. We do not want to be well adjusted to a diseased society, and the societal norm of God has been distorted. It's been corrupted, even from before the time that Jesus walked. I mean, that's what the Bible's talking about. Well, and Tommy, hey, Tommy thinks everyone knows Tommy, but no, here we go. I don't know. You guys are lucky. Oh, hey, thank you. Don't judge me. There you go. LARP church on Sunday. There's Illuminati. Blessings. Trump's, yeah, Operation Warp Speed. That was criminal. The actions taken by some of these presidents, the current and the past presidents, are fucking criminal. Whoops. I said I was going to start working on my language. Sorry. Go ahead.
Chris, you are absolutely right. Every time someone really touts Trump, I hold that as one of my go-to cards in Trump. And I got him for Biden and fucking Obama and everybody. I don't want you to think that I'm just hating on Trump. But yes, that is the thing that I hope try and break some Trumpers' belief that somehow he was innocent of every fucking thing. He's the guy. We're gonna do Operation Warp Speed. Let's go. All of the worst law fucking shit that bridged your rights and made you down, couldn't fly. All your worst memories, all of these things happened under this guy. That's the way I see it. I mean, small businesses went out of existence. It was all under his watch, and people can't see that shit. I mean, if you love him, but be able to say, yeah, he fucked up here, at least see it and I'll be happy. But when you act like you don't see and you only see the wrong in a Democrat or so-and-so and not the guy next to you, your friend, yeah, you get sus. I get sus. And Trump's done enough wrong where if you're not blinded, you'd be like, oh, you fucked up there. I don't like no politician, so I keep a mental list on every fucking one of them, Joe, the fucked up shit they did. I actually watch these crap ass channels, fucking Fox and CNN, and I watch some good channels. At least shit I think is good, Al Jazeera, whatever the fuck. But I watch that crap. I don't know. I mean, just so I can learn. I strayed thinking about. I've been watching a lot of Al Jazeera. That war is what popped in my head, which what threw me from my thought right then, because that's all they've been showing, man. I don't know if you watched it in the first week. Israel bombed them. I was watching it for like 6 days straight, and it started off the first night. I was editing, and I had it in the background, and my girl was watching too. She's like, "Oh wow!" And every time I look up, I missed the explosion. I couldn't catch it because they were so few. Right. By that 6th day, it was the whole shit was lit up the entire night. They dropped more bombs than the U.S. dropped in the whole Iraqi war on this little ass place. There's only like 14 by 20 miles. It was the craziest shit you ever saw. Look at the fucking footage. Everything's rubble. And I mean, they were dropping hospitals and apartment houses. It was just horrible, bro. It's hard. And, so people don't think I'm one-sided. It's the shit Hamas did was, was pretty fucking heavy too. I'm gonna get political, but and the shit Hamas is doing. I don't know if you cats notice, but if you pay attention to the shit that's going over there in Palestine that's going on right now, they are accusing entire Palestine and trying to wipe them out all the way to the sea. Because of something Hamas did. Hamas is the leadership in a little part of Palestine. And they took leadership back in 2012 or something, 2013 or something, and they haven't allowed the people to vote since. And when the people criticize them, they go to jail, right? So they've taken over. The people are not allowed to use the internet and say what they want, that type of nonsense. These people went and attacked Israel. Israel declared war on everybody. It's fucking horrible, all this shit.
It really is a sickness, man.
It is.
Hey, and Joe, what you're talking about, this stuff in Palestine,
yeah,
it's the newest destruction. It's the newest.
Yes, don't forget that was the Ukraine shit, Russia
Ukraine.
shit. We was just, I went to protest. I got footage of that shit, man. It's just like you say, it's the next step in a never-ending story. It's all. That's why you gotta judge it as just bad, just the act, right? I can't choose a side. It's not even an option, right? You come in, your kids are fighting. You can't choose one. You just can't.
Joe, and that is honestly, this is why I do these streams, is I don't know what the answer is, but I know what's going on in this world it's not healthy. There's that other question asked earlier about who writes our laws, who creates our laws. Well, I believe God allows. God is the ultimate creator, created us as creator beings.
But wait, if you say who writes our laws, then whoever asked you that was clearly asking a different question. Well, God was not the answer to that. Who writes our laws? Go ahead.
Yes, I'm getting there. God is the creator who allows and created us as creator beings. Yeah. We, as man has collectively created all of these immoral.
Well, let's be more precise, because I think the intention of the question was more precise. Which men create laws? I don't. Which men?
Well, it doesn't. We all. Actually, the question was, whose God gets to write our laws? Okay.
Very good. Well, I like where we're at now. Which men create laws now? They would say that the Congress and Senate are the only people who can create laws. It has to. Go ahead.
Sorry, I disagree. I agree and disagree.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead. Yeah.
In our own lives, we write our own laws. Mm-hmm. We are the rulers of our being. We get to write our own rules, our own laws, and enforce them upon ourselves.
Really, I want some of that, but go ahead.
Well, we enforce the rules on ourselves through our own self-discipline, through our own choices. The results of our choices.
Rewrite our own laws. Yeah, I thought you were talking about some collective laws, like the shit in books.
Yes. Well, trying to focus on the here and now. I mean,
books are here and now. What?
Everyone who's hearing this,
yeah,
they are the creator of their own laws, their own rules. Now, in the collective, in the greater society, man as a whole, and actually we could come into the spiritual idea that there's possibly demonic entities that come in and take over. Actually, that kind of goes into this. We are in hell. You can't trap a light being in a pit, but you can trick one into a flesh vehicle to try and corrupt it.
All right, I'll give you that the lawmakers are affected by demons and they write shitty laws. Agreed. As we all have to battle demons. So they're no different than we are with the law shit. Humans create laws. But more specifically, who? And understand the question the way I'm answering it. I'm not asking in no ethereal sense. Who here in America on a piece of paper, if you have to get a law passed, who writes the law? Who passes the law? Who makes it as the authority to make it become law here, specifically in the United States?
In theory, it's the legislators, people in Congress, but even that is a manipulated practice because it's all theatrics and a bunch of legalese mumbo jumbo, right?
Yes.
We gotta focus on the precedent law, right? The precedent case setting. This is precedent. It's gonna control the future.
Yes, it's not about justice, because let's say they find something wrong. Jack was wrong, and they find something wrong that the police have been doing. And they would now owe every fucking body the same amount of money they just owe Jack, that they've done that too. Something very common. Because of who they are, they're going to have to vote against it. It would crash the system. It ain't nothing about right or wrong now. It is about we must keep the system going. And, you're fucking what's right or wrong is secondary. So already the system is going to be fucked up. And, hey, I break a law. I was told I broke a law because I didn't get out of the car when the police told me to. They said I break a law. Well, what fucking law is that says I got to get out? They tell me Mims versus Pennsylvania. This is a judge's decision. So does the legislature make laws, or do judges make laws? I'm curious.
See, well, this brings in that's what I was saying. It's a bunch of manipulation because the judges, the judges offer this ruling and interpretation that then becomes the obedient take that as a law, try and enforce it on others. It's a bunch of nonsense, man.
I hear that a lot lately. I think I was in Wizard's Room, was spectacular. If I ain't bragged on it already. But they were, I think this is where I was at when they were saying it's really the interpretation of law. Never forget that shit. It's someone's interpretation always, right? So the law, when someone tells you to it, what the Bible says, like you were telling someone a little while ago, it's Tommy, it's their interpretation of the Bible, right?
Yes.
You may hear one thing, I may hear another. So just because that judge who made that law, the next judge's interpretation may be quite different. So how the fuck is that a law? How's that? I don't know if laws need to be immutable. They should be immutable. True laws, God laws should be immutable. Go ahead, Tommy.
They should.
Are you ready to be replied to? Because we already went over this, Joe. Now, you're wrong about law. The whole point of law is, this is how lawyers are going to lose their jobs to AI. Most of their job is going back, finding out if another judge has already covered the law on what their case is. And when they find that, they just go with that. So it's not various judges calling how various cases end in the same situation.
We can change.
They are consistently trying to consistently carry out that judgment.
Where did I misspeak exactly?
You're saying like whatever the judge interprets in that case is what goes, when all the work is to go back and find what's already been interpreted and roll with that.
I didn't say nothing about all the work going back. I didn't say that.
No, that's why I'm saying that's how I'm saying you were wrong.
What did I say that was wrong?
That you were phrasing it as if, oh, this judge takes this encounter and interprets this is how we solve it, and then that same encounter under another judge will go a different way.
Yes, that is feasible. Just because I think you're saying just because they go back and check other cases to make sure that their ass is covered.
No, it's not to cover their ass. It's to see how the law was interpreted and keep it consistent. And yes, there are times through human fallibility that they don't find a case, that the defense and the prosecution can't find that case.
Okay, Tom.
All right.
Here we go.
Cool with it.
I'm
cool with
Tom,
it, Jack.
Tom's not speaking with authority from any experience as an attorney.
I'm not.
Judge.
I win my court cases, fool.
All right.
Tom is just like me and you. He's entitled to his opinion.
All right.
And I give it
now,
the
Joe, we've covered this. You and I had this conversation where we agreed that we're in this system, and if one does not take the responsibility to know how to navigate it, it's on them to be at the whim of that system.
I don't remember us talking about it, but I would.
I know you're blunt as much as your daddy. It's not my fault you can't stay sober and vigilant like God's law.
Yo, be nice. What's so difficult about that?
You're not nice. You say I'm a racist nigga. Now get some.
Oh, you're mad because I say you're racist?
I'm always mad because of that. Yeah, and always because you say it when I can't defend myself. Yeah, I am mad about that.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm as mad as the PDF accusation.
All right, go ahead and go stay mad. You can use it to fuel your stream on Sunday. I'm not finding it.
Oh, I'm not mad on Sundays because.
Why are you here, Tom? What is your point?
Because you guys are obviously lost and confused.
No, we're not. You are. And your accusations, your interruptions, they're not helpful or healthy, Tom. I almost called him Paul.
Freudian slip.
It's similar patterns of behavior. I just don't.
Yeah.
You know, let's come back to the topic.
Right? If you can remember, I don't even remember what the hell we were talking.
It's addiction, habits, and really self-worth. The
Oh,
self-worth.
law. Yeah.
Well, the self-worth tied to the law. That's what's bringing us into this illusion of control and stuff. Hello,
Self-worth is bringing us into the illusion of control.
Wait, is this the Uncle Fatty?
Yeah.
Well, man, thanks for hopping up here, bro.
Amen.
So yeah, I'm about 125 pounds, soaking wet.
The fatty's a little ironic, huh?
Well, I roll real big
that.
joint.
That's it, Uncle Fatty, my man. That's
All
good.
right.
Yeah.
There
I'll
we
smoke
go.
with you. I got a half a blunt ashtray somewhere.
At least I used to before I got busted and went to rehab, of course.
Oh, for weed? That's not a thing. Fuck that. Or maybe for rehab something else. I don't need to know your personal business. But if they got a rehab for weed, I'm gonna go there and audit that fucking place.
See, I got busted growing weed in North Idaho, and I called around and I told I was looking for a bed. I was looking for an inpatient bed, and everybody's laughing at me like, "There's no inpatient bed for weed." I couldn't get, so I did my rider, went and did my time, did my couple hours, couple years of intense federal probation.
Yeah.
Was that part of their prosecution or part of the requirement?
Yeah, and with having
what a racket,
real no priors and whatever,
right?
But early 2000s, Jack, that up around the Pacific Northwest was meth lab bill.
Yeah,
meth lab bill.
Straight up, a bunch of these guys all got busted on meth labs, and some guy rolled on my name that I had apparently was.
Been there. Yeah,
I don't know, but I never done that shit. I'll tell you that. And they rolled in here with a meth lab warrant, found on my plants, and
that's fucked up. Can you do that?
Pretty lame.
Fuck.
They didn't have any other cause other than a confidential informant.
Fruit of a poison tree. Does fruit of a poison tree come into play anywhere there? So somebody was fucking gave misinformation, shit information, man. I'd investigate from there. Fatty, if you want to, Fatty, if you want to expound on any damn thing, comment you made there, clarify, expound on, I'd love to rap about any of them if you can remember.
I definitely went through a super hardcore divorce. And
I don't want to hear about
I'd gotten busted. So being busted and my divorce were all kind of hand in hand, right? Where
I didn't have the kids. I don't suggest you talk about. Hey, wait!
This is all out there.
Wait!
It's all out there.
Quiet, please. Wait, I'm uncomfortable. I don't want to know. You up here 2 seconds? I got to know about your wife, your kids, and your divorce. Dad, I don't want to know about all that stuff, bro. I thought we were gonna kick knowledge and wisdom.
It goes into the being on probation part and going through the cognitive awareness class. And the cognitive self-awareness class taught me that, you recognize your triggers, right?
My man.
I would imagine that just the word Illuminati triggers something in both of you.
It does trigger, but I like to think that I do well. I don't let them actually physically trigger me, but I do trigger by telling myself, if I do that,
maybe it's subtle. That's a real subtle. That's a subtle trigger. But even just me thinking about my ex-wife is a trigger.
I bet.
I get like, and then I get all like, fuck. You know what I mean? Like.
Yeah, I got an ex.
So as long as I recognize really that trigger and know that.
Yes, then you get cool and be chill.
When that comes up, I'm gonna feel. I'm gonna feel like my space is invaded. I'm gonna feel flustered. Just recognizing when those triggers are possibly going to be coming into our lives, especially with addiction. Like, it's like going to a bar for a recovering alcoholic. It's obviously a trigger. Something
not brilliant.
That's a place you want to avoid
my
being.
Triggers, one of my triggers, I used to blow heroin and snort it. A fresh bill was my trigger. You get a brand new dollar bill. Well, not nobody blows with a dollar, but you get brand new money out the ATM, and it's really fresh. And that's the one you blow with. And after I stopped, it always made me think of that.
Yeah.
Interesting.
It's like walking down the aisle at the grocery store, and they got the aluminum right next to the baking soda.
I'm guessing that's meth. I don't know shit about it.
Yeah, that'd be correct.
Okay. Aluminum next. You mean chore? You mean next to?
But in general,
what the fuck aluminum? Okay, all right.
And like, sorry, like with the anxiety stuff,
yeah,
that came from Rob Dial. So Rob Dial is the mindset mentor. He does kind of like inspirational quotes and breakdowns of stuff. But the thing with anxiety, I've dealt with anxiety my whole life. I've always been a acceptance seeker. Well, that's a whole different deal. But I've always been like
all that shit's interesting.
Been a business owner since my kids were conceived in my high school senior year. So from senior year, I've been working my ass off as a business owner, because I knew that working for somebody else, all I'm doing is buying their big fancy Ford truck. I'm just buying that gold chain for that guy. And the more I can do for myself, so I learned from the old timers, and I always did this construction thing, and I've built a pretty decent business. Jack will attest. There's a lot of big brand name people moving into the Pacific Northwest, especially Coeur d'Alene, Idaho. And a couple of these golf courses we have up here are private clubs with private estates. And I mean, I just built a freaking $4 million garage for a $17 million estate home.
I think that's great, but listen, I hope I'm not being rude, and I am being rude. But you just said that you had, damn, he lived?
May have dropped out.
Way.
Hey, we still have Tommy in the back. We weren't talking about him, but
I don't ask my permission, because I was cool with him anytime. You don't have to tell me. I'm always cool with him popping up.
I know.
Yeah. All right.
I feel Tommy's pretty interruptive. He doesn't really show a lot of depth.
See, I'm doing what dude just said. I just did like dude was talking about. I just showed that trigger, that anxiety shit. He's gonna interrupt. It's gonna be so hard. Yes.
Hey, he's back. I think I interrupted your train of thought. You were.
I just had to.
No, I was about to tell you. Explaining about the business, you had a train of thought that you were on, and you spent a while talking about how you built your business, and now went to golf courses and stuff.
Anxiety.
I was gonna say, well, be careful. Was it some of that self-seeking, something that you just spoke about, seeking approval and stuff? You don't have to prove nothing to me. You can get straight to the guts of the shit. That doesn't affect me. You can tell me I got flat jet planes. I am waiting for you to make that point. I'm that dude. All right. Just so you know. All right.
Anxiety has always been huge. Having employees, having kids, and having full custody of my kids basically for 16 years.
Yeah.
Always played into money as an anxiety, and always being
How did
like
you
5
cope with
late.
your shit before drugs?
Basically before the early 2000s, drugs.
Okay,
and
that's not what I want to ask. Now I want to know. Now I think you said you went through the rehab shit. Can I assume that you're clean now?
Yeah, I smoke weed.
So, all right. I was gonna ask you, how does a clean motherfucker deal with anxiety, medications, blah blah blah? I think you just answered my questions. I smoke weed,
and more so, I try to stay cognitive. I try to stay in the now. Real hard.
Going to Jack territory.
little Mad Dog 2020 on the rocks. You know what I mean?
Right, I feel you.
Little purple cough syrup.
Every now and then,
styrofoam cup.
Nope.
But more than anything, I just try to stay cognitive. I drink here and there, and I never really thought the
you got
twisted.
To force your way in with this guy, Jack. I don't think you're getting in any other way.
But just trying to stay cognitive and just realizing that everything that you do has a butterfly effect in a way that every person we touch, every person we come into contact with,
yes,
your attitude, your emotion, your outward appearance is not only being judged, but it's being absorbed.
That is, I would agree. Right, wait, slow down. Let everybody get in there. Yeah, and I think Jack's been getting in. Jack, when you been trying to say something?
Yeah, I did. I appreciate what you're sharing. As I understood, you started.
I do too, man. But yeah. You know, yeah.
So did I understand right? You started getting more of maybe you knew it before, but through through the treatment, teaching about the cognitive awareness, and you started.
Yeah, I think he said that. Yeah,
that's what I understood.
And so when I got busted in 2003, did basically about a year of state time and 2 full years on completely supervised, weekly UAs, daily UAs, and finally got into the weeklies, got into the monthlies. And at the time, my ex was going through the Oxycontin and
that's
the shit,
brutal. Yeah,
the junk. You know what I mean, Joe? So
yeah, I see why you call it your ex. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, her and her old man got, full custody for a couple of years, and I was paying really out the ass for child support. And through going through my sobriety and getting sober on probation, and every single time I had contact with the cop, I had to contact my probation officer. Just part of being on probation, right? They ran my name in the system. She's going to see it in the morning. I had to make sure I called in. And it got to be annoying because the ex was going through so much shit that every 2 or 3 days I was having contact for numerous different reasons of her not picking the kids up at the babysitter. I'd go pick them up. She'd call in that I kidnapped the kids.
So some real chaos and
major chaos, major anxiety.
So it brings you to today, and I love what you're saying. I'm interested in learning more about what you said of your trigger. Not necessarily here, but I mean, this is
if you could do it without going into your personal shit, that is not what we're asking. I'm sorry to be so critical.
Yeah. No, I got you for sure, and I don't want to dox myself. Totally understand. But it's out there. That's why I use my real name. They call me Fatty because I roll fatties, and if you look up Uncle Fatty, you'll find me somewhere in North Idaho. But even seriously, it started as Fat Ass, and my kids even still to this day call me Fat Ass. Their friends call me Uncle Fatty. So
that's funny. Yeah,
it's all good. It is personal, and going through the divorce, going through the sobriety, kind of at the same time, getting into the cognitive awareness class, which was part of my probation, where you don't do your 90 and 90 AA meetings. You go to a more structured style rehab, and the course that I had chose instead of all this other shit that I'd already been through is getting busted with pot in high school and whatever. Like I've always known about the words rationalizations, justifications, projecting, insanity when it comes to addiction is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result.
Yes.
I've always known that type of the rehab, part of life, and tried to purvey that to my friends and be a leader, be a confidant, be a sponsor.
That's the same thing now. The same way you overcome drugs is the same way you overcome everything in life. It's a habit. You repeat that shit, right?
Yeah. And once I got into that cognitive awareness class, it was the mind opener that I needed to see that the triggers. I mean, anything can be a trigger. Each individual is a completely different person, and a small trigger for me might not be something that would very highly trigger my best friend that's right next to me.
Amen.
Being aware of what that trigger might be, not only for me, but the people that I'm hanging with at the time. Just being aware, being almost hyper focused on the fact that no matter what we do, we're affecting our surroundings, and our surroundings are affecting us, and we are absorbing. And that's where I've come to this kind of mega conclusion of of the Fox News trigger of the dopamine from the anger and the fear, right? Compared to, let's say, the left side, and I'll compare it to the left side because they might have a serotonin trigger of thinking that they're helping the world.
Of course.
And the empathy, right? So
if they make them really demonize them, then when you hurt them, you're gonna get some type of dopamine rush from it. You're saving the world. With serotonin.
We seek it. The hardest thing that any human can do right now is put their phone away for 24 hours.
Yeah. I justify it because I say it's my job. No way I could do that shit.
Sure.
I'd go broke.
Just not watching your typical whatever you would normally watch every day.
Yeah.
It's pretty difficult, for most big folks to recognize that even MySpace back in the day had the same effect on people.
Yes.
It's
right. That's why Facebook blew up. Same thing.
The acceptance. I think as humans, we seek acceptance more than anything else. We act out. We create situations. We get in trouble mainly because we're trying to be accepted by those folks that we're hanging with, right?
Yes. Let me jump in here, please. That key of acceptance, you're absolutely right. On to something. We seek outside acceptance most often when we have not accepted ourselves, right? And I want to come back to that trigger. Something I've learned, 4 triggers. What you said too, Uncle Fatty, spot on. A trigger for me might something severe throw me into a head spin, may be absolutely nothing for you or someone else. We've all got uniqueness.
Yeah.
Those triggers are our personal signals. They are our personal invitations to go within and try to figure out, why are we not feeling good? Why are we not accepting and appreciating what's coming out? Including the ex, right?
Yeah. Or the asshole that you just had to fire, or the guy at work that just will not shut up all day, or people have different traits, and we judge each other accordingly.
According to them,
right. And is it hard for us to look at the other and to be really, like I said, I'm not really a practicing Christian anymore. I am ordained and I do things for certain reasons, but when it comes to just spirituality in general, do we look at the other in a Christ-like way of saying, I will always love my neighbor no matter what. I will always try to lend my neighbor a hand, try to lift them up, try to be a support system for anybody, to be a humanist, right? To seek the source.
Do we ever say those things? I would say that we all say those things. Do we ever do those things? Nah, I could test the theory by putting a homeless motherfucker in front of your crib. Will you come out and give him a sandwich, or will you call the cops and say, this motherfucker been in front of my house all day?
Right.
Everybody thinks that they're this great and, blah, because I have all this shit in my head. Your actions, though, right?
Yeah.
It all comes down to what we do, and we'll never know what we're going to do until the situation comes in front of us.
Yes.
This is where that self-awareness and the cognition needs to be. We've got to be present in order to do.
And knowing when and where that might happen, and being able to preemptively think about, if I go to the bar, I'm going to run into Joe Blow, and I like Joe Cool better than Joe Blow, and Joe Blow and Joe Cool got this whole thing, and I might have to step in, and recognizing that there's a situation there that you might be putting somebody else in as well. Like, I've got carpenter guys that are going through rehab that the one guy's on the methadone program. He has to travel from Coeur d'Alene to Spokane to be part of the methadone treatment program.
Right.
And kid shows up the other day and starts talking about blah, 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 and Suboxone this and the other Suboxone that. I don't even know what Suboxone is.
Yeah.
My other homeboy is like, hey man, like I can't be around that dude. He won't stop talking about freaking Suboxone all day. Like,
yeah.
Just
so I'm assuming that you went and you told him, hey, listen, you got to stop talking about Suboxone all the time.
I
It's a
told them,
trigger
first of
for
all,
it's a trigger
the
for one of
homeowners
my
up
other
here got
guys.
webcams in the trees, and they watch us all day long, and they also have
Yeah.
microphones. So you better
I
keep your
don't
mouth
think
shut.
there's no,
On the job.
I'm not one triggered by him talking about Suboxone, so I don't see a problem with it. So I don't think the FBI or anybody who have a camera even have a problem with it. It's not illegal. He's doing a good thing. He's getting off of drugs. But if it's a trigger for someone, I totally understand. You don't want your other employee thinking about drugs. I get it.
And in general, it's not a topic that I want my employees or subcontractors talking about on any job site. I want them talking about
On the job
numbers
site.
and wood, and you keep your personal shit at home, and that's the hardest thing with construction.
Yeah, you got a great argument. Yeah,
you know, we're kind of bound to the labor source that we can get, and a lot of those sources are probation guys that didn't finish high school necessarily, guys that had kids real early, like myself, and you know,
I was
being
one of those guys. I worked on a lot of houses and had the same shit always. Had to go to the clinic or go to probation or some shit like that. I was one of those dudes.
There for a while, I only hired guys out of the probation department because they showed up every single day on time, with the lunch, boots, gloves, and whatever they needed. They didn't bullshit all day long because they knew not only did I have them by the balls, and if I fired them, they would get, you know, a probation violation. But they respected it, and they really appreciated it more than just the average dickhead that would show up drunk on blackberry brandy at 6:30 in the morning.
That's why I think when you said about the Suboxone, it kind of surprised me a little bit, because I figured, you would have understood that shit, and you'd have just told the kid, hey, it worked, keep it down at work, and you wouldn't have been hard on him, because you would have understood, because you lived the life.
Yeah, and like
I'm
Special
with you,
Kid is
by the
just
way.
in there too. Looking at
personal
people's
shit
arms.
at home.
Yeah. And I don't mind if you're going through things, because everybody goes through shit, and I'm always willing to be a coach and a help.
Very good.
And,
very good.
Maybe not an accountability partner, but definitely a sponsor, maybe a counselor.
I feel you, right?
Going through that divorce and stuff at the same time, like I was going to these divorced men's groups, and these guys were crying about the stupidest shit. And I'm just like you guys, I mean, let's cry, okay? I've been following my ex's wife around, my ex's new husband around for the past year to all of his AA meetings. And talking during AA meetings about, God, it's just so difficult. I got this guy screwing my wife.
Oh, you're talking about them been following, or did you just say you've been following? Or you're telling a story about the place?
Just the place,
All right. If it was your story, I was going to pause and lecture you and
there's always
tell
a different perspective. Where I'm going, Joe, is that there's always a different perspective. You can.
I was just making sure. I was going to have to tell you.
Out hardest time of your life, but guaranteed there's somebody around that's been through a little bit harder, and if nothing else, just talking to people, getting those words out when you're in that situation is
that's a big thing in my opinion.
It's huge, and being able to trust another human being enough to actually talk about your feelings, because Disney did not teach us men how to deal with feelings. Disney did not teach us anything other than how to struggle and struggle, fight for the princess. But we were never taught how to be a man. We were never taught how to be a prince, and we were never taught how to be a king.
And we got nonsense, which I still admire, I can't lie, but we got, as men, we got taught John Wayne, Clint Eastwood, or whatever the John Wicks would be of this day. We didn't get reasonable shit. We got beat your problems with your fist shit back then too. Shut up, woman. Right. 007 used to smack women in every fucking movie. It was normal. That's what we grew up with, thinking it was cool. Yeah.
Then it turned into Die Hard and Terminator and Rocky and Rambo and now those guys didn't deal with feelings.
And then Al Bundy.
No, that wasn't a thing.
The Al's best. I'm an Al Bundy maniac.
The world is what you're saying. Yeah, the definition of what a man is. I suppose maybe it can change over time, but it's certainly been lost to this modern day society.
You know, George Carlin is another one that I'm really, you know, this
admire.
Everything that we're in right now, this country was bought and paid for a long time ago.
Yes.
And this is one big club, and we ain't invited.
Well,
Yes.
we can. Here's the thing. Hey, Uncle Fatty, you're not far geographically. Should you have interest, I dropped my number and email in the back.
We'll definitely hook up, Jeff, for sure.
Yeah, I'd love to connect because
for sure,
this world we're living in, it's corrupt. It's horrible. It is confused. It is immoral. It's unrighteous. But God has allowed us to learn, right? We've been through some craziness and some darkness, and we've come out of it with some new lessons, wisdom.
Yeah.
And thank you for sharing it today, man.
You know, to kind of complete that quote that you put up there a while ago. So today, there was over 4,000 gods worshipped on earth. And in the time of man, there's been over 18,000 gods. Okay, so let's just say that there's 100 people in a room. I'm one of them. Everybody picks a different god, and I pick none. Okay?
Yeah.
What's the difference between all of us? Is it 99? No. It's 1. Okay.
Right.
4,000 people can choose 4,000 different gods, and the difference between us is 1. And the only thing that divides us is our angst and our anxieties and our fears of the other.
I would agree, right?
Ourselves.
Your interpretation of God, you get so defensive about, everyone else becomes the enemy.
Yeah. You know, I see so much divide and so much hate and so much fear and so much anxiety and just bad energy being focused towards each other. When if we really just, you know, like Jesse says, trust in the source, you know, try to find that source. If that source for you is your God, hey, focus on it, hyper focus on it, but don't try to shove it down somebody else's throat. That's just not America. You know, the founding fathers were very, very, very specific and spent years toiling their souls about the First Amendment and the first 16 words in the First Amendment, that the government shall proclaim no religion. We will not declare ourselves as a this or that or the other thing, because yes, 55 of the 58 signers of the Declaration were Christian. Of those, there were 8 different Christianities being represented, and in the agnostic side of that as well, that they were Christians being persecuted by the Catholics who were Christians. The Protestants came here to flee Catholic persecution. That's why they didn't declare this nation as a Christian nation, because we would, in essence, be saying to everybody else, we're going to choose one out of the 8 gods that's being represented here today, and we're going to say everybody else is not welcome. And that's not America. America is inclusion. You know,
that's usually That's usually the big problem I have with religion. I know I'm cutting you off, man, but that's shit. All right, I'm sorry, I don't lost my fucking train. You go ahead. I'll cut you off again later. Go ahead.
It's used in a way to persecute each other. It's used in a way to judge each other, to other the other. When if we could just include everybody. Like I said, man, I spent quite a bit of time at the Church of Jesus Christ Christian in high school, otherwise known as the Nazi compound in North Idaho.
Yes, that's what the fuck I wanted to hear that story too. Yeah,
the church. It was known as the skinhead compound, the Nazi compound. If you're familiar with Ed Norton did American History X.
Yeah, I remember.
It was like 96 or something. I graduated in 95. And throughout the late 80s, early 90s, it was a different time up here in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho.
Yeah.
I mean, every weekend, the weekend after 4th of July, the Church of Jesus Christ Christian would have their national gathering, and we would have anywhere from, late 80s, we were maybe up towards 500 to 700 to 800. Through the mid 90s, it was about 2,000 to 3,000 cosplaying, boot wearing, red suspender wearing Nazis, flying Nazi flags and marching down our main street and having their parade in the park and their picnic in the park for the day. And we gave them those permits, because not only would we be against the First Amendment by denying those permits to parade and to march and have your day, okay, but we would if we didn't, we would have gotten sued. That's the main reason. So late 90s, it was an absolute shit show up here, and fights breaking out, and they're now starting to intimidate the local judges and prosecutors and city council people that happen to own restaurants, and they're placing pipe bombs behind the restaurants and putting flyers in people's mailboxes instead of just in between the flag and the mailbox, and breaking laws. Okay. And laws are meant for one reason. Okay. Because your freedom does not give you the right to trample on the rights of other people. That's not liberty, right? Liberty for all means that anybody gets to exist in America.
I would agree. I was going to ask you something along those lines. In order to get out of the drugs, you had to do a certain amount of actions. It turned out being rehab and counseling or whatever. What'd you do to get out of the philosophy of the Nazi shit?
I bought into it enough from an acceptance standpoint and from
excuse me, you should have totally trolled me and said, Joe, I'm still a Nazi. What are you talking about?
Nope. I mean, I bought in enough. I bought in enough to to be cool, but as well as kind of an undermined point that I wanted to kind of work up and figure out the ranks and figure out the tactics, right? And I'm big about tactics and figuring out like why you do things and like the
philosophy behind them.
But after church, they would go to the action seminars. And how do you do what you're going to do? The Anarchist Cookbook wasn't just a book about how to make stupid things. It was an actual philosophy book about how to take over society.
I never thought about that. I probably never read it.
From a fascist point of view, it was a how do you infiltrate the government?
Okay.
How do you hide your swastika tattoos underneath your suit and collar?
Mm-hmm.
And there's a lot more to this. And in today's world, you guys, I'm going to just tell you, I'm seeing the tactics that are being used against the American people, that are being force-fed down their throats in a trigger that the people cannot understand as a trigger. And these folks are literally hooked on the dopamine hit that they're getting every day of anger and constantly having to watch these news sources. And instead of going on to one of Jesse's podcasts when he's talking to a couple of gals about love and light and the eternal flame and being the flame that attracts the moth, right? You want to attract the moth. You don't want to be a monkey in the corner banging the drum saying, hey, follow me, follow me.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
It's about leading by example. It's about trying to love the neighbor as Christ said to love your neighbor and to turn that other cheek when it's time to, and not to throw the first stone. I got a strong hunch that Jesus was born on Y2K at midnight. And he's stuck at the frickin' Mexican border because they won't let him in. So he's got a cardboard sign out there and he's putting out free foot washes. He's got a free foot washing booth and he's teaching people how to fish and he's teaching people how to bake bread, right?
Well, you wouldn't recognize him, yo.
No, absolutely. And who's to say that that any person in government is going to say that my God is the way and thou must follow mine.
Yeah.
Is off base.
I assume they
got
all feel like that because they all feel like that with the law. Yeah.
Right. I mean, Jesus did say,
hold on, let Jack.
Follow the way.
Maybe you didn't hear. Maybe you didn't hear Jack. Hold on, Tom.
If I may, yeah, I want to press into this a little bit because I understand that man has devised all these different gods, and you're right, there is a freedom of religion, but there is a truth. There is a truth to what is and what is not. And I'm actually of the belief these people in Congress, they can be convinced of what is true and what is right and what is possible.
What do you have to go on? Can you point to a history of them being, you say you believe that, however you phrase it, they believe in truth and they can be changed.
I think most of them believe in the same thing. I think most of them actually really are. Most of them are posers. Most of them are fakers. Most of them are people that realize that they have an opportunity to stay in a position where they really don't have to do much, but they have to say a lot, and their only job is to be reelected. If we had term limits, post World War II, okay, we took out term limits because during that point in time, we kind of needed more of a long-term look, which eliminated public service and public duty from the title of senator, congressman, and representative.
Yeah, I'm not sure that I'm not sure that was a worthy cause because we needed a more long-term look at that one time in history. It was the only time when we needed to do that. And my radar would fly. That just doesn't sound logical. If that's what they sold it as, it's probably nonsense.
And we just never reversed it. We never went back to the ways of, you got 8 years.
Why would you? Right? The people who have to reverse it, you just gave them, unlimited. And you want me to reverse it? Are you shitting me? I'm going to keep this racket going as long as I can.
Yeah.
Shit. You got your fucking asking the drug dealer to stop. And I don't go to jail. I got to stop on my own accord. Man, you out your fucking mind.
Biggie and Puffy didn't give up their block. Claim it forever. And when you have the opportunity to, why would you give it away? That's where it kind of gets to me in government and politics, is that the public service, the feeling of doing better for the public, of helping the public, of being a servant to those that would have the audacity to even throw me up that would nominate me. Somebody nominated.
That's the way it should be, right?
Like, yeah, but now it's all about the focus of me.
It's power. It's authority. I want to be a god like the rest of these guys. Look at the way cops, they walk around with impunity. I want to be a somebody. It ain't about serving no fucking body. It's about blowing up. And
funny story about that, Joe. When we were going to hunter safety up here, there's police officers in our hunter safety classes. You can't buy a deer tag without hunter safety. You can go out and shoot deer, sure. You can go out and be a public servant and be a police officer, but legally you can't buy a deer tag and go out and harvest a deer without hunter safety. So there's police officers in our hunter safety classes that help with the training as far as how to store your gun, how to store your weapons, how to separate your ammo, how to use trigger locks and things that in today's society, there's just no liability. Period. We are the country that invented the word liability. The liability to charge somebody else with your abandonment of regard for rules, of somebody else is always liable for my shit. It's always somebody else's fault.
Okay. Yes.
Right.
Meaning, not my fault.
It's the guy. It's the hot coffee that did it myself.
Qualified immunity.
Yes, there's that's kind of what I see as far as like, we're never going to take anybody's guns away. You sure as fuck not taking mine. I'm going to have whatever my adversary has. Doesn't mean that I get to own a tank. Doesn't mean I get to own a drone that some guy can control from anywhere in the world. But
I'm not so sure about that. I might argue that at a different time, man, because my adversary around here does not have that. So granted, around here, I might or whatever. But if this shit flared and you're going against now the fucking Capitol or whatever the fuck, and they bringing in that shit, yeah, now I got the right as well, motherfucker.
And that will never change. I don't think we'll end up being able to pull anything like Australia, where folks voluntarily turn their stuff in.
Insane, bro.
I think that we need to look at the word liability, and when it comes to mass shootings, especially, I don't know. That's a hard line. That's a whole other conversation we can have for sure.
I looked that up the other day. Let's have it for a second now. I looked that shit up the other day. Mass shootings throughout a year, and I just picked a random year. I would have thought in my head maybe a couple dozen. Right, the lowest number I found was like 282 in 1 year, and 1 year 600 and something, like 680 something mass shootings just in America in one fucking year. And I looked at the schedule.
I think it was like 4 already.
Some of the days got like 4 on a day, like November 14th. There's another one, November 14th. There's another one.
It's time to change this shit. Can we please? This is our lifetime to change this. Okay, the past is done. It's brought us to here. What is happening today is fucking sick. We've got people murdering people all across America, all across this world. We've got governments, state-sponsored terrorism is being funded by American taxpayers all around this world. And
what is state-sponsored terrorism, if I'm not interrupting your dialogue with your people in the chats? State-sponsored terrorism is something. What's state-sponsored terrorism?
I call war state-sponsored terrorism.
I figured you were going there,
because that's what it is. War spreads fear. Fear promotes terror. The terrified, they are easily controlled. And right now, actually, it's a slippery line when people get afraid. They're either easily controlled or radically violent. And the world today,
I dig it, baby. I dig it. Yes.
Easily triggered. When you can control the trigger, people become a lot easier to control.
Agreed, right? Again. So you'd have to study motherfuckers' trigger. If you can control people's trigger, then they're easier to control. If I know your trigger, you're easier to control.
You'll hear it, right? The third time, you'll actually hear it. If I tell you something 30 times, you'll start to believe it. If I tell you it 300 times, you'll fight for it. If I tell you 3,000 times, you'll die for it.
Or kill for it.
Straight up.
Yeah.
And when the other is always, when the other is the fear, the other, let's just use the German example. When the communists are coming to get you, and they are the bad. They are the evil in the world, and the communists are coming to get you.
Yes.
Then the next thing you know, you've got people that don't even understand what communist is.
Yes, but they're down for the fight and they'll die for it. They can't describe it. At the war over there in Iraq, the first Gulf War, when the reporters were going to be embedded with him like never before, you're going to get coverage, and they go in there. The first access they gave to the soldiers, all the first soldiers said, "We're over here to kill those bastards who took down our towers." They had to stop the damn recording and go and coach these people and tell them, you're in the wrong country. These people didn't have nothing to do with that. They were really ready to kill and die, and didn't even know they were in the wrong country, fighting the wrong people.
No, Bush had a thing for Saddam. That's all.
He always did, didn't he, man?
That's all it came down to. whatever we got to do to get Saddam out of power, because we need that oil, baby. We need that oil.
One of his guys wrote in a book later on, many years later. I think he said that same day when they was like, "Oh, the towers fell," blah blah blah, and they went back to make plans, and Bush said, "All right, we need to invade Iraq," and blah blah. And he said, "Motherfucker, stop!" And he's like, "No, no, no, we got to do this over here with the Twin Towers shit and all of that shit."
That was
like
Rumsfeld, yeah.
Rumsfeld, the day one, he said, we got to go in Iraq. How'd that even fucking come up on that day?
And Storm and Norman, old Norman Schwarzkopf, the general, came out afterwards too, and kind of, was like, I was duped. I was duped by my superiors into doing this. And
Colin Powell too. I was duped. Right?
Yeah,
I was duped. Yeah.
It's a rough world when to me, it all goes back to term limits. That if the guy that is a congressman for 24 years gets elected president, and in that 24 years of being a senator, he got nothing done. He passed no bills. He put no legislation forward. That guy with term limits never would have gotten nominated.
Exactly.
So the public service aspect of all of our politics is it's gone by the wayside, and I think there's people that love what they're doing, and they do it more on a civic level,
smaller level,
city, county level. But shit, up here we got Karens showing up to the libraries looking for gay books. We got Karens showing up to schools looking for litter boxes. Right? Yeah. We got a sheriff running around up here while on duty with his camera on, going into public libraries and taking gay books, and then going on the local news and bragging about getting the gay books out of the school.
That means someone pressured him. Someone told him this is the way to go, blah, blah. So he ain't did it on his own. I guarantee there's a bunch of people who supported him on that. If he wants to go on the news and brag, he's trying to impress somebody. There's a desire for that. Some lady was said he called him a bill. We got to get those books out of there.
Joe, the library didn't even know that he had done it until he went on the news and bragged about it. Now they're charging him with petty theft. Bro, right? I mean, welcome to North Idaho, man. I mean, how dumb does it
sound like Mississippi or some shit, right?
And I won't say that I'm necessarily a diehard Democrat. I voted for Ross Perot 3 times for a reason. I think all politicians are corrupt. I think they're all at the point where they're not really there for public service, that they're...
Wait. Okay, well, you said, if you believe that, you said something interesting. You said, I wouldn't say that I'm a diehard Democrat, meaning you would say that I'm a Democrat. That's at least what I'm assuming. Meaning you can't follow that up with all politicians are corrupt, and you're saying I'm a Democrat. All
right. I align more towards the Democratic talking points. And
I guess that's the thing. Yeah. Would you vote him into office?
Yeah. I finally got my rights back here a couple of years ago. And one of the Republicans that I voted for here recently, 2 weeks ago, was a gentleman that was calling out his fellow Republican for being a freaking for being a fascist. For having a swastika on his arm and hanging out at the city beach. And he was the guy that would at least call that guy out and say, look, dude, like, we don't align with fascism. We don't think that your God needs to be the purveyor of all laws in this state.
I dig that, right? I dig that. But at the same time, right?
Guys up here
isn't that me? I gotta support the cop. Oh, good, that's a bad analogy.
Back to blue.
All right, go ahead. I mean, I was trying to show that that's not really bright. A guy does say a cop. He saves a baby today, but every other day he's robbing motherfuckers. That's how I feel about the politician. And when you tell me, hey, he did this one thing, But every other day he's robbing a nigga. I can't give him my vote just because his job is fucking evil as fuck and all of that, because he did one thing means shit to me. Did he change his philosophy? Does he suddenly believe that you can't knock an old lady in the head and snatch out the window of the car because she fucking had expired tags? Now I'm interested. If he's talking about I'm gonna levy your taxes 2.3% and then I'm gonna do this, and fuck you, you just like the rest of them cats.
And politicians and even cops are always at that point where they're always going to show you the good side.
Yes, let's read the Destroyer's comment here. There's no way for anyone to prove anything being reported from the opposite side of the world. Very good. Unless you have credible boots on the ground sources to confirm anything. We have to trust their intel. Who was that? Destroyer. I would agree with you. I had the way I tried to combat that shit during the last war, whoever the fuck, Ukraine war, is I thought, how do I get boots on the ground? I want sources like that. I had a lot of buddies over there in London and shit like that, and you know, and so meaning they're closer and they know more than I know, and they put me in touch with some motherfuckers and told me to put me in touch with the right people. So yeah, I got really good, you know, people in basements and shit doing streams, you know, which I would have never found, and you know, had I not met them.
It's like, you know, it's like the source. You know, and when it comes to stories and information, especially what's kind of coming out of the Israel-Palestine situation right now, the closer you can get to the source, to the real source of information, the better.
It's very good. But keep in mind, and this is Jack shit, keep in mind you couldn't choose a side. Right. I don't give a fuck what your source tell you. If you come back to me and tell you, yeah, Israel's right, kill all Palestinians, or if you're a Palestinian, you say, hey, all them niggas gotta die because, I'm not even interested in because. I'm not interested in what come out your mouth after that.
I look at it like, you know what? There's not just the two religions. You know, there's more than two religions that are embattled in the control of the Jerusalem area. Let's say.
Yes, that's real issue, right? That's where shit gets murky. If you had a chance to take Jerusalem and seafront property and all of that stuff, and they have a great chance and opportunity to do it, and you wanted to do it, you probably.
I don't have 8,000 years worth of religious knowledge about that area. You know, because
right,
the past 15 to 2,000, really the past 3,000 years. Between three different religions, I don't know 9,000 years worth of philosophy enough to comment on that.
Yes, it just got better, right?
May the source be with you, my friend.
May the source be with you all.
Hugs.
You guys got something on anything, or especially if something on what we just talking about, whatever his comment was about the war there.
I just entered, so I'm gonna listen for a bit. Yeah, I'm gonna listen for a bit. So I'm gonna catch up.
Right. No, that's fair. I do that shit all the time.
What's the question?
Kind of started with me posting on Jack's chat here that that anxiety is fear of the future, and in particular, anxiety is fear of the uncontrolled, fear of the uncontrollable future. That stress is fear of the uncontrolled present time, and that depression is fear of repeating an uncontrolled past. And it comes from kind of a thought that fear is one of our most basic and primal instinctive feelings that we have, whether it's fear of the dark, fear of lions, fear of, you know, the cave collapsing, who knows, fear of the other, right? But looking at anxiety through through my kind of rehab process and my personal anxieties with dealing with triggers, anxiety being fear of the uncontrollable future, when in reality control is an illusion, and realizing that the control that we think we have causes that anxiety and causes that depression and causes that stress really is an illusion. Control is an illusion. Therefore, none of that stuff really exists. And that's how I got to the point where I can live in the now. living in the now is so hard. Living in the present time, just experiencing, just sitting on a stump and just being allowed to be. Just being allowed to be and just to exist without any preordained stress or expectation of myself, without
Damn near
any,
impossible.
you know, that's the hard part in life that I think most struggle when it comes to depression, anxiety, stress, the things that this consumerism builds into us,
Hey,
you know.
I saw something somewhere about our bodies were not. Excuse me. I read something. I saw something somewhere where somebody was saying that our bodies were not meant to deal with the stress. Normally we would have gotten in short bursts. You know, a lion or whatever, the guy over there, whatever, and you'd have that shit. You release all these chemicals, and you had time to go down. But now, when you have the fear that comes with the anxiety of your job and all this, all of that constant fear, you're in that mode all the time, and our bodies were not meant to be that way.
Destroy the false illusions, and you destroy the control.
The false illusions are all within too, and that's the trick. That's what the triggers are for, is to help us recognize there's something here.
Can you guys help me out with something? Because my job consists of controlling deadlines, controlling quality, control. So I can't resonate with what you guys were saying because it's such a large aspect of my life. So I feel like control is a tool, and it's a necessary tool. So I can't say it's a false illusion, or if it's you know what I mean. I use it.
But the fear that goes with it, that's the false illusion, and that's the acronym of what fear is. False illusion being, appearing real. Because there's not a bad thing to be in control of your situation, of your job, but if you're afraid, and that's what's kind of going, powering it, then that's when you're living in that illusion. Because if we didn't know we were supposed to be afraid of these lines, and we were taught that we can maneuver them, we can have the skills to take it down if we wanted to, we would never be afraid of it. But because we live in a society where fear is based, we're taught to fear everything, and fear leads the way, and that's how they control us.
So a dig, and both of y'all, for simple Jack, if in the same answer would hold true, if we remove the fear from it, you're doing nothing wrong. Like you say, fear is a tool. And over here, if we get rid of fear, it's a tool in our fucking fight to, where you could have more vision and fight for rights or whatever the nonsense.
With control being a tool, I can't agree more. As a general contractor who deals with my own employees, with subcontractors, with customers that have unexpectational desires, with unmanageable.
They want to control the product. Yeah, they want to control the product.
Right, and control is definitely something that I've struggled with as a term, and tried to always kind of define.
Yeah.
From the fear point, it's definitely it's a tactic. It's a way of looking at things in a negative way, really. That
I was going to say that's
not
when it becomes deadline,
stressing out about it and running around like a crazy man to do any more better.
Yeah.
Controlling that fear, controlling that control becomes the tool becomes the driving force of wanting to hit.
That's why I think most very rich billionaires or high stress politicians or whatever, they would have to be the most narcissistic and the most fucked up people, because they would work with levels of anxiety and I must exert control, which is just another heavy thing. Which means they would be the most insecure fucks in the world, right? The most guys who try to exert the most authority on you, the opposite effect is gonna make you more afraid, and you're gonna have to exert more authority, and it's gonna make you more afraid. So the most insecure fucks are the ones trying to exert the most authority on you.
I totally agree. You know, and that's why you don't see a lot of really ultra stressed out people in places of management. You know, they can control that anxiety and that fear of not hitting a deadline. They can control the you know, the aspect of being out of control. And those are the folks that really do kind of know that there's nothing that you can do anymore. You can't try to force it, that you have to just kind of let it be.
They would have known by they'll know, they'll learn. Yeah, it's the same thing everybody got to learn. I think SJ got to learn a bit of that, what's within his control and what is without. Even though it's his job, he got to learn his limitations and shit too. Some shit is not within my control.
Right.
Something with this conversation though, of the occupation where control is a part of your responsibility. You're looked at by others as you're responsible. And this kind of ties into some of that earlier conversation regarding liability. There's a distinction, similarity, but a distinction between liability and responsibility. And those obligations, owning your job, owning that responsibility, that is worthy. There's a lot of people in this world don't rise to positions of leadership because they're afraid of the responsibility of control.
Yes.
And just owning your shit in general. When it comes to life in general, just owning your shit.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know, owning your responsibility, but owning your faults, owning your
like everything. You get a dopamine rush from that too. I know I do. Right, that can become a habit the same way the other shit do. You know, you can.
You know, I get off on those tight deadlines when I know that we're a week out and we got done on a job and we better hit these points and we better hit these timelines. My Gantt chart better fly right into effect or we're going to be screwed. Controlling that really becomes almost an addictive.
Yes, because you have to discipline yourself. You have to become an artist. You have to, you know, and when it's done, you're gonna get a dopamine rush every fucking time. I used to do a lot of go on stage and shit. I opened for a lot of big artists when they came here, which meant we had to go into the studio. We had to do this and that. So, and you had to organize. I was always the guy who booked the shows and did everything. Had to organize every motherfucker. When it was over, man, I wanted to go fuck something and get high. I was, it was the release was,
There's no better feeling than popping in on an open mic at a bar and not knowing what anybody's playing. You got 3 or 4 different guys you've never played music with, and hey, do you know this one? Yeah, okay, let's do it. There's no more great stressful feeling or great anxiety feeling or high. You know, that's the serotonin. That's not the dopamine.
Yes. To perform and another thing, the more you do it, right, you become arrogant, right? I know I do. I want the competition bad. I want to crush everybody in the room. That's a part of it too. I want to rip them up because I built up confidence. I've had occurred victories along the way. People have told me how great I am. I can't wait to get my best friend on stage is in danger. I want to rip everybody apart.
Hey, yeah, hold on. Sorry, totally off topic, but yeah, Joe, you got some rap, some rhythm in you? You got something to cheer for?
I do. I got some really good rhymes. I opened for back then. I'm an old motherfucker, right? So I'm friends with most of these cats too. Well, not now. I ain't seen them in years. But Ice-T, Too Short, those were the cats that when they come. Yeah, me and Ice-T had a great battle. I could tell you about. I can remember the rhymes.
No shit.
Yes. I could tell you the story. But fucking Two Live Crew, EPMD, Flavor Flav, now Public Enemy. And just a host endless more. Yeah. And I'd go back to the hotel with them every time we kick in. When they come to Chicago, they page me. That's how old I am. And I'd meet them at the radio stations in downtown. Yeah.
Yes.
I feel honored. I didn't know I was sharing company with such celebrities.
Another time, I don't want to monopolize shit because I really like these guys, but another time, asked me to tell you the story about me and Ice-T. We battled in the back of the amphitheater in Chicago, man. It was great. To tell you the story, fucking the Ghetto Boys was there. It was really cool.
Ghetto Boys.
Holy cows. We've talked about a lot of things here. The fear, the addiction, the self-worth, pressing into life. I never know what these panels are going to bring when I hit go live.
That's why I'm laughing. I think my man wants to play a song. Please.
You know what? This is the first time for Uncle Fatty. Let's bring it out, man. What do you got for us, man? Please.
I would beat you to death. Did you really pull that out just to fucking play around, motherfucker?
Well, throw a guy beats, see if he'll start boxing.
He was getting ready for you, man.
I thought he.
Nothing better than some impromptu live music. I'll tell you what.
Yeah, don't get me there. I'm easy to go there, man. But I'm telling you, I like being the star.
We'll be here till freaking midnight.
I'm the worst. Y'all don't see that competitive side of me and all of that nonsense. Oh shit! I gotta text somebody. So I'm gonna disappear for a second.
All right, Joe.
But in general, I just say the more positive energy you can throw out there, the better. The more high vibe, love tribe type of feeling you can have in life, the better.
Yeah, I say, start teaching kids about it. I hate this, I mean, it's like, and I hate to say it, but the sooner kids know about energy and how it works, I think it's better for everybody.
For sure.
I remember Tesla saying that if you want to know God, think in terms of energy and waves or whatever.
Yes.
And asking here, why should we be without fear? I don't think we should be without fear. I think we should learn how to control our fears and more than anything, recognize that fear can be a trigger and fear can be a tool. And it could be a triggered tool.
Yes. That's what it was. Naturally, that was how you saved your life, was through fear. Let's not throw it out the window like it's not useful. Yeah.
Okay, but there's a reason to be without fear as well. Because what's the point of living if you're not really doing anything? And fear, these triggers, these fears, these insecurities and doubts, it is designed to keep us alive, but man, to move beyond the fears, to recognize those fears and embrace it and say, all right, this shit is my challenge. This is mine to deal with.
Those are some of those battles I was talking about. You become better at that shit the more you battle that fear. And you become a slave to it if you don't engage it. It will rule you, right? I really suggest when motherfuckers tell me they want to be cop watchers, I'm brutal. Hey, and this girl, I'm about to get arrogant. I'm getting mad just thinking about it because motherfuckers come to me and, girl, calm my goof ass down. They would tell me like, Joe, I was thinking about my first audit, never done it before. I watched a lot of bits. Do you think I should go to the FAA and should I use a Canon so-and-so? And, those cats, I'm ruthless, man. I'd be like, listen, here's my email. Go do 40 fucking cop watches and then in a row and then send me something. And I'd be like, stay back. Don't take no risks, don't take no fucking chances, but get some video under your fucking shit. And then this always happens. This is why I started the story. It's gonna happen where they're gonna have an interaction, and it's gonna be scary as fuck. And your tendency, I don't give a fuck if it's being arrested, pushed, or whatever your shit is. I think my threshold is quite high because I've been arrested so many fucking times. Oh, nigga, I don't fear arrest. But for some motherfuckers, that arrest is gloom, and it'll make you, it'll turn you around, and it'll make you gun shy. Get back on the horse. Do it fucking 20 times in a row. Until you're over that shit. It's a fucking must, man. You ain't living if you ain't doing that shit. You're being thrown around. You're reading the wind, bro. That's how you get your control over your shit. Girl, I almost said you become a god, man. But that's
Those
when
are the
you,
guys
I don't
who wake
know.
up in the morning and say, "I hate today. Today's gonna suck."
Right? That's fucked up.
Sounds about right. I wonder why you have a shitty day every day, bro.
I agree.
Honest. It's
No,
some,
I
you know, a
agree.
lot of it is manifest destiny. A lot of it is projection. A lot of it is you got to put into the world what you want to be so you
I,
can
I,
become
I
that.
think,
Right?
are you a reflection of, or are you putting it out there, or is it both? Because it seems like the people who wake up in the morning wanting to kick the dog are the people who have all the issues and hate everything. I don't know which came first, the chicken or the egg. But you know what? It's the same way around. You know, I get up and I'm happy. And, hey, how you doing? Can't wait till motherfuckers good morning, all that shit. And I seem to notice the sun sets and the fucking so and so. Oh, it was a great day today.
And
Hey,
love, you know, people. Go ahead, Jack.
thank you. This is what I'm trying to get across. What I've learned for myself, everything you're saying, when we can humble ourselves to our own path of life. Okay, this is my life. I own this life. This is
Yeah,
mine.
yeah.
Start appreciating it, right?
Yes,
And
and own it, like you said,
yeah,
right? No one has authority. No one gets to tell you what to do. You're a pussy if you allow that nonsense.
And speak
sometimes
from a place of this is what I've learned and this is my interpretation instead of a place of this is what I know and this is what you must do.
I dig it.
that's wise advice. I
Yeah.
heard that myself for me because I know I'm guilty of that. I
What
mean,
about the people who don't necessarily say this is what you should do, but this is what I know, and are stuck at that wall?
All right. I
Yeah.
Because
know
I've
some
met
people
people
like
like
that.
that.
Yeah.
They seem like exactly like Bible thumpers who
I
don't
was gonna say,
necessarily
yeah.
who preach like they don't want you to join. They're saying they don't want you to join, but they're stuck.
Yes.
As a Bible thumper.
Yes. Yes.
What do you do about
That's a
that?
very hard question because they won't give you evidence to refute. If pressed, it's because I feel that way. So how do you get that motherfucker out of there? You can't give them. They would be stuck in the cognitive dissonance. That's a very hard fucking question.
Thank you, Joe, for really elaborate. Yeah, thank you for
Uh,
nice. You brought that question out better.
I think there might be two types of those folks. One that is a um, an exceptionist or just somebody that's just looking for the acceptance and trying to keep that acceptance that they
yeah.
currently have maybe alive, and others that are maybe
Right.
more of the Messiah complex that are doing things so that they can brag about doing things to get acceptance
Yes.
through
I see
being the
both
person that
sides.
is.
Yeah. Yeah. I saw something on
Thank you,
Flat Earth.
thank you.
I saw something from Flat Earth today. The guy said that there is a bunch of people out there who don't know better, know no better, and are just repeating shit, kind of like me and SJ are talking about. But then there are the guys who are smart enough, and they have become prestigious or making some type of money, or it is now defined their identity. And when they find out, he's like, I'm 100% know that they've had enough proof in front of them, but it's so much of their identity and shit, they still cannot stop.
And that's
Then
that's partly an addiction as well. That when
yes,
to face
yeah,
our fears and to face our what we're doing in lives, whether it's drugs or whether it's just belittling other people,
yeah,
when it comes at you as a you're doing this and you should it's fight or flight. We're going to instantly
yes,
clamp or we're going to say F you or we're going to
yes.
but we're
Think
not going
about
to
how you deliver your message is
yeah.
crucial. If you really care about that person, right? You can't tell them just grow up. Eat it like this. If I really care about motherfucker, I soften. I know with my woman, I don't talk to her the way I talk to you cats because I really, need her to be kind and whatever the fuck. I can do that shit for you cats. I can soften my approach, and now I have a better chance of my what I'm saying falling on fertile
Because you're
ground.
cognitively
Right?
aware of how you're speaking to that person, how your tone of voice, how everything about the way you're interacting with each other is
Yes.
going to affect that person because you care about it. And
And the
and
more
maybe
I get to know that
doesn't
person, the
care
better
about
I
it.
get. The more I
Well, yeah.
get to know that person, the better I get. I can craft because I know his habits, I know his triggers, I know what he likes. I can craft the soft space for him to land. And then you build trust, right? The more he see like, hey, I made a faux pas, Joe didn't jump on me, he's not one of these critical fucks. And now dialogue opens up. It's to my advantage to be kind, man, in every fucking form of fashion.
Yeah, right. I'm gonna use that against you, Joe. All that information. All right. Superman's going down.
Kryptonite.
Be kind, Joe. Be kind.
There's only one way to figure out what your kryptonite is going to be, though. And some people do it as
to see it.
Messiah complex, as a way of infiltrating you to figure out what your kryptonite is, compared to just being a loving, open, accepting, loving.
There's a way to figure it out to help you, right? There's a weakness. How can I help that? Other people are there's a weakness. How can I use it as an opening and hold it against them later? Yeah.
Like I said, man,
I think
Disney did a number on all the Gen X guys for sure. We weren't taught how to be anything more than the guy that struggles for the princess. We were never taught how to be. We were never taught how to be the king once we saved the princess. Right. So we get into relationships and they fall apart because
you start off. You already got the princess. Now what? Yeah.
Right. Now we got to go find another princess.
Right. The story ends right there, dude. Yeah.
Right. Damn.
Well, they gave us Jerry Springer after that.
And Montel.
Yeah.
Jenny Jones.
So I wanted to ask everybody on the panel today, starting with Jack Talcott, how did life resonate with you today?
I kind of forgot about it. I've been here in the present.
Great answer.
Today was very peaceful for me.
Nice.
How about you guys?
I had a good day. Had a good day in the sun for sure.
SJ, because you took the time to ask and you took the time yesterday, most days go well and I can give my standard answer, but I'm gonna give you an honest answer. My day is great, blah 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 blah. But I got two friends who had some discord between each other, and they're not friends to the place where I thought it was my position where I could give them counsel. That was other people's position, and I was doubting myself. Right, I've been doubting myself. Should I went on and did it anyway? But I, barely met one of them. They're really the loved one of my friend. Is that really my place when others are around? So that was my day. Well, just a part of it, I should say. I shouldn't be a jerk. My day was beautiful.
Thank you, Joe. Thank you.
I'm actually curious because SJ, you seem to be carrying some extra weight on your shoulders today. You doing all right?
Yeah, I'm good,
that
dude.
Question too makes me wonder.
No, I'm good.
Good.
I don't. No, it's just the job site's coming to an end, and we're just moving forward, and everything's good on my end.
Glad to hear.
Yeah, just.
I took that read too, though, Jack. I took that read too, man. That you seem a little more dismal, less energetic today. Jesse ain't said a fucking word. I guess ain't nobody. Jesse, usually somebody say something stupid and fire Jesse up, and that's how he comes in. What's peace is, buddy? What peace is? That's how you become.
I think the energy yesterday had to be a little bit higher to match who showed up.
Oh my God, I forgot all about.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So like, I'm for example, what I've learned in the past couple days, I guess. I'm a Sagittarius, right? And I guess one of our
elements. As if that means anything.
Well, no, it means no. So, all right, Joe, you'll figure this out, Joe. All right, so I guess the element is fire, right? What I noticed when my fire is out of control, I burn people, right? Fire, if used incorrectly, is a bad tool, right? When fire used correctly, can warm, can cook meals, can help people. Fire can burn out fast if you don't, feed it correctly. It can grow. You know what I mean? There's all these elements of fire. So now that I understand that I'm a fire element, I'm learning to control my fire. And right now, it's the end of the day. I don't need to be a huge flame. I don't need to project more than what's necessary right now. So I'm just chill, conservative, and bada bada bing. So
I knew. At least I assumed you would go down the fire element shit. But when you said I'm a Sagittarius, so I was being a troll because I really believe what's Sagittarius got to do with it. I figured,
it's almost December, my friend.
We're coming out of Scorpio. We got this new moon right now in Scorpio is an intense new moon too, you guys. If you're into gravity, I'm telling you, there's some serious positive energy that's being squared through the earth right now.
No, Joe, like I'm all about the spiritual journey, man.
I gotta pay more attention. All right.
Yeah, the northern lights are crazy up here right now in North Idaho, man.
All right, yeah. What about the gravity? What were you saying? What about gravity? What did you just say? You said something about it's December and the gravity is, I don't know.
Men have a gravitational force that holds us just as well as women do every 4 weeks.
Yeah, I wouldn't call it gravitational, but I do believe in unseen forces tugging on each other and sharing unseen forces. I wouldn't call them gravity. That would be minuscule. But yes, we share like magnetisms and other unseen forces. They mingle. I believe that.
It's like this, we're all made of the same stardust. We're all made of the same space dust as the dust that's as far away as we can even imagine, right?
Yes.
We get to pick our polarity. That's the
correct.
That's the original sin of man. That's the spirituality that we've been given. That's the choice that God has given us, is to pick our own polarity. That I can choose to be negative, or I can choose to be positive. When you pray
think that when people
serenity,
when you think
it dealt with stuff that makes it hard to be serene, right? When you try to be positive, you attract negative. So you have to project what you want to be and not just be bound by it.
So Joe, go, and then can I go after Joe?
No, I lost mine. Go ahead.
All right, so this is a good way to go back to what Jack said earlier, creating rules for yourself. You can set positive rules for yourself, and you can set negative rules for yourself. You know what I mean?
Yes.
There you go, Jack. So create positive rules. Yeah, exactly. Choose your polarity.
Which is cognitive.
That's
where you cannot be cognitive and just react.
What about? I was going to ask, what about these guys who get up every day and they've deluded themselves? This person deserves a hate because they're evil. Aren't they in the throes of addiction? How much choice do they have at that point? Are they choosing their polarity? Yeah, I guess technically they could still choose to change their polarity. They're just stuck in a loop or something. Or maybe they're not aware.
Yeah, maybe they're just not aware of what's just creating the loop.
From one of our guests, it seems like maybe doing like a detox is the best way to adjust your polarity and choose the way to either go up and down again. Jesse recommends maybe a sweat lodge. That seems like a great suggestion. You know what I mean? Like go in there and really shock your body, and you'll figure out which way you want to go.
For sure.
The other thing is the cold ice bath, right? So that's getting really popular because you're shocking the system and then you're releasing these endorphins, and that actually helps to heal. And then, when I take a shower, I actually take a hot shower, and then it opens pores, it cleans myself. But at the end, I turn it to cold water, and then I just spin myself around in really cold water because it closes the pores. Right. So for one thing, but then it also shocks the system. And then if you're ever in a situation, if you say you fell in cold water or you're stuck, you're more likely to not be affected because you're actually training your body to not be all shocked by coldness. So there's lots of benefits for doing that.
I get that. I hate cold water.
I'm an island boy, bro. No ice bath for me.
It's a nightmare, right?
When I was living in
Cancun, I'm African. No ice bath for me either.
When I was living in Cancun, our water tank was on the roof. So if you took a shower early in the AM, it would be freezing cold water. But as the sun heated up the water tank, it would actually be warmer in kind of 11 p.m., 11 a.m., noon, 1, and then you'd actually have a warm shower in the afternoon.
Nice.
I like
Nice.
that Viking shit, man. I think it keeps you humble, man. I think every motherfucker's had to sleep on the floor at the hotel from time to time and pile into a car with way too many friends as if y'all broke as fuck. I think all of that shit's happening.
Diversity
I
makes
think
us
it.
strong. You know, that's the more adversity that we fight through, the harder
The more
times that
we,
we walk
yeah,
through
more we
is what
learn. Yeah.
gives us the knowledge of being in that present, being in that point of time that we can now control.
I think that's what gets you out of depressions too. I think a few of those little small victories would get you out of what you think. You know, when you get down on yourself, I think a few small victories and suddenly you gain some confidence in yourself, and that shit's a game changer, man. I think. Yeah, I'm sorry,
Joe, that's a great tip. I want to reinforce that. Addiction habits, the bad habits and our addictions come from self-worth issues. The best way to change your self-worth is start achieving stuff. Find
Yeah.
little goals to push yourself into your
Yes.
press yourself into your discomfort.
Yeah.
So that you can recognize how strong you are by
You'll be arrogant in no time. I'm telling you, set small
Amen.
goals like go to the park and keep up with it. You smoke one less square, whatever, and keep up with it. You know, oh man, yeah, that shit. I feel like a champ. When there's
Philosophy
something
is
I have to
discovery.
discipline myself on, work or whatever, I get a dopamine rush off of doing it. Right? If I say I'm gonna do it, I do it. And after it's done, I'm a man. Men stick to their word. I get some rush out of that shit.
But what we want is the serotonin rush of being able to tell yourself, good job for making your bed today. If you get up and you make your bed every day, now you can tell yourself, I completed something. I accomplished something. I got that done, and now I'm going to move on to the next accomplishment and not move on to the next failure.
You know what else is
Looking
nice?
forward to failing compared to looking forward to getting accomplished, right?
Yeah. The best thing about making your bed in the morning is when you come home after a hard day's worth of work and you look over, you're like, bro, I got a nice clean bed to fall into.
It is, right? It also makes you
it's
think
like
better,
weird.
bro.
It's weird.
Yeah.
It's like weird.
Psychology or something. Yeah.
I'm in the middle of remodeling my house right now. I've literally been on the couch for like 6 weeks. All my bedrooms are torn apart. I'm redoing all the flooring and trim, and it's the craziest thing not having a bed in my own home, even like.
Right. I don't know. Can't get into that fucking field, man. Like it's college or something, man. And, you know, accept it, embrace it, man, and have fun with it. You know, have a broad over. See if you can't sleep too on that little ass couch.
It's about snowboarding season. I'll be sleeping in my car 2 or 3 nights a week. So just waiting for some fresh powder up here.
I got a million questions about that shit, Joe, because I travel a lot and I try to get Z's. And as soon as you fall asleep, it's so cold, you got to wake up and cut the car on. You just leave the car on, or you got a heater. I don't, fuck that cold shit, bro.
Electric blankets and little heating pads and stuff like that.
I got an electric blanket. My shit didn't work. I thought it was pulling too much water, just not my electric blanket. Somebody gave me one.
Get used to it.
Yeah. I did use it as a regular blanket, though. Yeah.
It's like sleeping on the sailboat in 40-degree weather when the water's like 34 degrees and the whole side of the fiberboat's 34 degrees and everything. Degrees, but you got the heater running and the air is warm, but it's just pulling the condensation, and it starts dripping and raining on you inside the boat. And you're like, it's just pointless.
I know nothing about that shit. No, I know nothing about that.
You can only control our environment so much,
Yeah, that sounds just horrible. I've thought about the van shit because all my friends got vans and shit.
Van life,
in fact, I slept outdoor just, to see the experience myself 2 nights, but I ain't gonna bullshit y'all. I was a block away from the house over here. And the first night I thought it was incredible. On the second night I hated it. But I see they go through when they build the insulation balances they got to put all of the heating and cooling choices they have to make. And they're experts at it. So they say, and they do it well now. Yeah.
I want to ask Jack a question. Because Joe was saying that he gets endorphins from working in accomplishing these goals, and Uncle Fatty says the same thing. But Jack isn't working right now. So what are you doing to help get these endorphins going, Jack? Are these streams helping?
That's dope. Small goals. We were
Thank
just
you.
talking about setting small goals.
Yeah,
That's
because
a dope question. Yeah.
Because right now, honestly, the streams help me. Like work doesn't do that for me. To me, work is just a task. I work for the man and I work hard. And it's a task, bro. I'm a slave. So I don't like computer work. I don't like data
It's
entry.
a job.
I don't like QA. I don't like, it's like, hey, did you do this job correctly, bro? If you didn't,
All right.
can you come
Right.
back? Where are you? Oh, you're in Chula Vista. Oh, fuck. You
You're
know, like
not
all these
fired up.
things, bro.
You're not
So
fired
right
up
now,
with your friends. Yeah, we killing it, bro. Let's do
yeah,
it.
yeah. So so streams. Actually, I get endorphins off streams. So I'll be doing that in the future. I'll be having my own streams. But Jack, please, I want you to find something that you get these endorphin rushes off of. That I think natural endorphin rushes. These influence ones are nice, but I think that we should find something for Jack that gets that.
And I wish I was near him, bro. I think that, I think
Like
he
what
had
keeps
so
you
much fun.
motivated, right? What keeps you motivated to?
It's well, honestly, this.
I don't think he knows, right? I'm sorry. I'm be talking about you like you're not here, but Dick, what up, Joe? I feel like Joe, you dropped some wisdom on me, Dick, about 2-3 weeks ago. You said something smart. I don't even remember what it was, man. But I've been like, I'm gonna pay more attention when I see that dude, and I haven't seen you since. All right.
Hey, cheers, Joe.
Cheers.
Hugs.
I did go up
Cheers,
to your
neck cocking.
channel a couple times to try to get some of that wisdom, and I think you were playing music both times. Yeah.
Yeah, I just get on and jam my guitar, which is not the most received content, but hey, I have fun with it.
That's right. That's what's important, baby.
Good to see
you. We
y'all.
get
How's your
back to
evening going?
Jack.
What's up, Jack?
I said I was going to make an effort not to talk about motherfuckers' shortcomings, and I've been sticking to that. So please take this as advice. It'll make me feel better. I think that's what I was proposing with that. Just go to a bunch of different things. Me and you had that conversation because personally, I'm not sure that you know what's gonna trigger you, where your next venture is even gonna come from. If you throw yourself out there, then you'll have more shot, more opportunities. Do I want to do this? Do I want to do that? That was my advice. I think my advice was similar to SJ's.
So, Jack, like going to church or going out to your community, is that what helps get these endorphins going?
Well, this is what I was trying to say. Is this has been quite an adjustment for me because, I started working when I was 13 years old. I learned the joy of a job well done, going home at the end of the day after fucking wearing yourself out. I learned that young and spent my life doing that. And then I actually, as a union guy, I learned the joy that comes from serving. Performing a thankless job that you get beat the shit out of day after day. But every once in a while, you help someone who deserves it, someone who needs some help, and you shine like a hero. So I used to find a lot of fulfillment. What you're asking, that has actually been my personal biggest challenge, is how do I find fulfillment without a family, without a career, without an organization or a social community? It's possible. It's very simple too. We find fulfillment by life is a mind game. Have fun with your mind. Have fun.
You're a knucklehead.
With the game of life.
You're a knucklehead.
I'm a knucklehead?
Yeah.
I know.
Why are you calling him a knucklehead, Joe?
Let him finish, please.
I love you, Jack.
This is Talcott Tuesday, brother.
Jack, how are you? Mr. Snowball?
Feeling blessed.
Good.
Hey,
good to see you,
hugs.
Mr. Simple. Mr. Pooh.
Why are you here, Snafu?
I'm observing your panel and coming to love and hug a buddy, fuck a buddy, and cupcake it, and just be here to experience the Talcottia.
Here's your cupcake. Here's your cupcake.
Thank you.
Here we go.
Is that okay, Mr. Snowball?
Cupcakes.
It's not okay. It's a pagan
But
holiday.
honestly, I'm here to see Dick. Dick has some things he wanted to say, apparently. So I'm here to listen to that.
Does Dick know that he
That was
has?
brilliant, Dick. Did you hear
I
that?
said I would
That
do
was
a gay salute, so I'm trying to be as gay as I can.
Hey, guys.
That's pretty gay, Dick. You're doing good, though. By the way, Mr. Simple Jack, I want to say I'm sorry that you experienced the fucking bullshit of the pedograph. Obviously, he's triggered. I find it funny. Most of you are ignoring the optics, but Mr. Simple Jack was attacked for no reason, and we've been monitoring. So it's nothing
Thanks,
new.
sir.
But
thanks, sir. I appreciate
yeah.
your support, dude. I got your
Somebody-
snaps. Boom.
The Snafu Snaps crew is on it like an ankle monitor.
Yeah, they
Hey,
updated me the
Moose,
other day.
what's
dude.
up,
It's
yo?
cool.
What's up, boy?
Mr. Moose knows, dude. Mr. Moose had to back out because it was getting so heavy with some of these pogos at one time. But hey, by the way, Mr. Talcott, I love you, dude.
Loves.
This is Talcott Tuesday, man. Everybody's having a good time.
Hell yeah.
Actually, I think this is probably the wisest thing I can do. Because honestly, unrelated, it's been about 3 hours. I'm feeling I'm feeling kind of complete.
All right.
I do want to thank all of you for joining. Today has been great conversations. Freedom Grower, you just arrived. Thank you for doing so. And Jesse's been busy.
I hate to think that they just hopped up here and changed your entry. It's a victory if that's what just occurred.
Oh,
Only
no.
you will know. Yeah.
No, it was simply, I'd been considering shutting it down for about a half hour or so.
Yeah. All
Well,
right.
to answer Simple Jack's question real quick, how today resonated with me, it was my day off. And a few folks knew that I was taking the day off, and got a call randomly this morning that kind of changed the whole aspect, of getting the yard done before it snows and going along with my plan of, hey, can I borrow your car trailer? Because the side-by-side, the four-wheeler needs to go to the shop, and so it's just kind of a managing expectations type of day. Managing my own expectations of myself, managing the expectations of what society thinks I should be and do, and managing the expectation of what can I actually accomplish, and having some accomplishments at the end of the day to be able to look back and say, all right, good job, badass, right?
Yeah, man, you brought everything we talked about into that shit, bro. Yeah.
Yeah, you're working
Yeah.
a little thin today. You're nice, slim. Yeah, you're looking a little more.
Yeah, it's just kind of one of those days that you got to adapt and overcome.
Thanks
That
for
things are
sharing.
going to be thrown at you, and I know that that's a trigger for me. That changing my plan is always going to be a fight or flight response. It's going to be a fuck or a okay, sounds good.
Until when?
Okay, sounds good. Always.
What are
works
you going to
better.
do to change that? You've been battling that anxiety shit for a long time, right? If your plan, and go by the philosophy I said earlier, if that shit is always a fight or flight, then you must engage that shit. You do the same shit. Whatever that one thing is that gave you anxiety that day, you do it every fucking day until you got a handle on that shit. And I mean it. It's fucking do that shit if you're going to change it. Right. And apparently you suck at it because you've been fighting that shit for a long time, taking other motherfuckers' advice. Yeah. Whatever it is, your next battle, you will fight that. I don't give a fuck if it's that doorknob makes me anxious. I don't even know the fucking extent of what you're going through, man, or whatever fucking problem, man. You will look forward to that motherfucker. You will be late to work every fucking day if somebody chew you out, if that's your anxiety shit. Face that shit on. And listen, the reason I'm not fucking sadistic or masochistic, I want to see you get fucked up. This is how you overcome that shit, man. This is how you face the fear, you overcome it, and you're free from that day on. I don't want to see my mans, and I barely even know you living in anxiety the rest of your life.
Get it out somehow. Whatever it is. You got to yell at the fucking window, or you got to yell at the mirror, or you got to yell at the wall, or you got to yell at the floor, or you just got to talk to some cool bros online that you never got to meet.
Yeah, and yeah, you've been truthful a lot. That's a big step, right? You've been honest as fuck. Even in that answer that you just gave for SJ for that simple question, you took the time to give a complex answer. That was groovy.
Thank you. Well, I finished eating my cupcake, guys. Hugs.
Respect. Thank you,
All
brother.
right. We'll be up
Overcoming
out of
being
here,
fucked
Jack.
up.
Say
That's the
goodbye to
great.
your buddies, man. Later.
Overcome being fucked up. That's the hardest thing that any human can live with.
Amen. Thank you, Joe. Thank you for joining.
Much love. Thanks for having me, Jack.
Uncle Fatty, it's been a pleasure.
For sure.
Nice to meet you. We'll
It's
continue.
good to meet you.
And should you have interest, I drop my info in the back and let's.
For sure.
All right. Peace.
For
Thank
sure.
you, brother. Jesse, freedom. I think Jesse's working. So.
Yeah, a lot of the irritability could stem from just excessive use of the internet. It's not till recently that we've found ourselves in these scenarios where people are spending so much time just staring at screens and, you know, interacting in the meta realm. And there's a lot of frequencies and a lot of things that could be antagonizing the irritability that's in you. And, you know, I guess you could say, come on and talk to some friends or, you know, go do whatever, but maybe find a way to do something productive that moves you towards your goals. Like really figure out a benchmark of something you can do every day to switch it up a bit that gives you a real sense of empowerment and accomplishment. So you can see that track record that you're getting somewhere, not just, you know, through your conversations on here or whatever, but in actual real terms. That's the best I could offer anyone.
Amen. Thank you, Dick. Appreciate you. Jesse, hopefully you've been productive and hopefully entertained.
Definitely. You guys asked everybody, well, you know, how was your day? But skipped over me. Day was good. Got up, made some good food, had a good interview, and then took the dog out for a run, washed the windows in the house, inside and out, planted some garlic for next year into the garden, and then, you know, made some food, and then came here to, you know, just continue on with helping out, you know, being productive, and then thought I'd jump on and, you know, just have a little bit of more interaction, you know, and see where the conversation was at. Good conversation, didn't get a chance to say much, but always appreciate good energy and good conversation, just the social aspect of it.
Hey, respect. While you're still here, I don't remember if I know Special K mentioned something in the chat. She tried your suggestions, right? Brushing the teeth with the other hand, and someone else had asked what you were offering. You offered 3 simple steps to kind of change yourself, bring yourself more into the present. Which was brush your teeth with the offhand.
Yeah.
Tell yourself, look at yourself in the mirror, tell yourself you love you like 10 times, I think it was.
Yeah, in the AM, when you get up, you brush your teeth with the opposite hand. Tell yourself you love you while you're looking at yourself in the eye 10 times, and then take 25 deep breaths. 25 times, and do that 3 times throughout the day. And those 3 steps can help to just kind of give your vibration a little jump start, you know, especially if you're maybe feeling stagnant.
Amen. You're getting comments. I know that has been a painter's outfit and serves its purpose, but the appearance is you got a lot of paint on your clothes, man.
Yeah, it's been years that I've been wearing the same thing, and I've actually helped other people that I know, you know, with their different projects, and they've like offered to buy me a new jacket just so that way. But for me, I enjoy it. I've had to sew the pockets a few times. It's comfortable. It was a hoodie that I liked wearing before. So anytime that I kind of retire some of my old tracksuits or hoodies or whatever, I just retire them and put them into, you know, painting clothes.
Amen. All right, Jesse, I'm gonna wrap it up. Thank you.
Good to be with you, brother, and all that's there listening.
I'm blessed. Have a beautiful evening. Brothers and sisters, all who joined the panel, all who joined the chat, all who may tune in at a later time, thank you sincerely. I appreciate your time, your attention, your energy, your contribution, your participation, your life. I appreciate your life. I appreciate that you live. I appreciate that you are, that we are. Because together, you and me and all of us who are today, we are the future. We are the strongest of the strong. We are the ones who have survived all of the past. You know, all the centuries and thousands of years, maybe millions of years, billions of years that happened before we were born. We are the result of all that. And brothers and sisters, what we do today, the energies we feel and we share today, those are our memories for tomorrow. And one of the most fabulous energies that I've found for myself, one of my favorite states of being to feel, is one of peace. Because see, when I allow my mind to settle of all the fears, all the chaos, all the opinions, all the worries, all the expectations, when I allow my mind to just settle those, find a place for them away from me right now, in this peace of the moment, you know what? I'm going to do this. In this peace of the moment, oh man, I thought I had it ready. In the peace of the moment, we can find our gratitude. And the gratitude we feel, that is the reason for living, sincerely. Gratitude is what feels good. Gratitude brings us happiness, joy, peace, prosperity, all the good things in life. And brothers and sisters, I'm going to wrap it up just a little bit different tonight. Going to try something new. And we'll see if Provo King's video can play us out for a little bit. Just some reminders for us all. Thank you, brothers and sisters. Peace for everyone. Choose love and live without fear. Take a breath. Recognize your freedom. And then, with intention, with consciousness, in the privacy, safety of home, you know, allow yourself to fall to pieces. Just let them all go. Fuck you. I am nothing. I'm not a man. I'm not American. I'm not a father. I'm not white. I'm nothing. In the privacy, safety of home, take a breath. 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 Detach. Let yourself, you know what? Let yourself in the privacy, safety of home, you know, allow yourself to fall to pieces. Just let them all go. Fuck it. I am nothing. I'm not a man. I'm not American. I'm not a father. I'm not white. I'm nothing. Peace and love, brothers and sisters. Thank you again.